Hello and welcome back to the Paul Plays Our Broken Roads playthrough. Our first playthrough. Last recording session, we gave in and deposed the magical hippie so that we could gain access to Kalgoorlie High-Tech City. Hello mate, welcome back. What can I do for you? Can you help me remember or forget other skills? Really? Why are you in a silver mask? I'm one of the guardians on this city. I reckon it's weird that I'm here doing this then. My job's to watch over the academy, watch the tests, and make sure we're not creating a danger to the city. It's solid work and I love to do it. Do you train the people here? We test a lot of people. We train fewer than half of them. If they're citizens, they've got to train. Visitors, though, they can choose to skip it, and a lot of them do. How many visitors do you get? We get plenty, mostly traders from other points of the compass, but, mate, when people think of the West, they think of the ruins of Perth. They reckon out west is where the loonies live. No profit in trading with the barking mad, right? I'm not saying I think you're all that daggy, mind you. But then, I've never been on the roads either. Not exactly the best position to tell blokes what the world's like. What's it like living here? Never lived anywhere else, but why would I want to? We've got food, shelter, security, water. Why risk losing it all? You'd be an idiot to sacrifice it. I mean, look, I get that it's not for everyone, strange as the thought is, but it's perfect for me. Okay. Did that actually reset our skill points? Ah, I didn't notice these before. There are bonuses for when you overlap in a way. As if I'm... No, I am slightly humanist still, that's understandable. So this is the thing that's triggering where my character absorbs health for other people. AoE attacks go up. Oh wow. Start slightly slower, but then forever be quicker. Anyway, did this... It did reset all our skills. Except it didn't reset them properly. Because this could go to 100 before, and this was at 100. Okay, it's just making you do them all individually. That's slightly tedious, but it works. No, it doesn't work. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, the sound's meant to be cracking a drink. I think. We only need exactly 100. And then what? So last time we were working on the Overwatch, but honestly that hasn't seemed that good. Being able to all but guarantee a shot is probably more useful. Unless I want to start pushing that for 12. Yeah, but I don't really need biology because this gives me... This is how I heal. I heal with the magic spell, not with the hit point, the healing skill. With the, like, I'm good at using health pack skill. Also, when did that go up by 2? Okay, and then leadership, I guess. Yeah, shoot also went up. Somehow that's going up. Maybe it's also based on skills slightly? Like based on attributes? So when I was leveling up attributes that contribute to it, it was also increasing these. Are we making OP character? You only design one character, and we just clicked the, we gained access to this guy who said, do you want to respec everything? And I hadn't fiddled with that before. So at the start of a new episode, seemed like the most sensible place for fiddling with that and getting an idea of, does it actually work? And it looks like it does work. It's a little bit tedious to click through all the level ups one at a time again, but it works. Mostly this is about giving my allies extra initiative and damage. Eh. If we had the, like, fireball skill, maybe I'd be leveling that instead, but I don't have the fireball skill. Ask Jazz Clark in City Hall about citizenship. I don't want to visit Mr. Evil Boss. What about this way? Okay. 3 books? Yes. And more books? So many books. But yeah, just Jesus. Our character is a little bit overtuned, perhaps. If I do another playthrough, maybe I'll do like a melee-ish person so that it plays rather differently. It's a very empty city. Keep moving. What's this tower? This is the Ivanhoe headframe, originally brought to Kalgoorlie in 1946. From the Big Bell gold mine, it was used to hoist heavy machinery and equipment from the Ivanhoe mine until the mid-1970s, when the gold ran out. It contains over 100 tons of steel. Why are you stationed here? The mine is tapped out, but the headframe's the highest point for kilometers. It's got great sight lines. It's the perfect place for broadcast equipment. We're here to keep people from fucking with it. Bronze farmer? This ragged-eared jumbuck looks at you with ruminant hatred. It's clear that he's mad, what he's mad about, but whatever it is, it certainly involves you. Hey you, do you want this sheep? Why do you ask? He's bitten me 27 times. Just get him out of here. If you do this, you're 100% getting bitten. No doubt about it. Please, I'll pay you. No. Isn't Fallout but OS just Mad Max? There's no fuel in cars, Goka. And really there's no fuel or cars in Fallout either, for the most part. People walk around in Fallout or have floating robots. And well done to you, Goka. It looks like you've influenced... You have spread the volcano princessing. Influence Goka. The man... I am too, because realistically it's nominally like a story-based thing, which doesn't seem very... But anyway. The man is big-boned and ruddy, with sharp eyes and thick hands. He gives you a sour glance and turns back to the factory floor. I'm Masters, Ollie Masters, foreman. If you've got a pass, let's see it. If not, you'll have to leave. I won't have you interfering with the work. He looks over it carefully, studying the steels and stamps. Can't be too careful. I once let a fella on the line without checking. He was dicking around and the conveyor took his arm off. It took days to get that blood out. Looks like it's all in order though. What brings you here? I'm just having a look around. What's this? We make textiles and provide support for the other factories in Kalgoorlie. Over there, we've got a production line, sorting stations, and recycling areas. It's not the hardest labour, but it is demanding work. How'd you get to be a foreman? Tested for it like the others. Turns out I'm good with tools, good with people, good with organisation. The testers assigned me here. I shadowed the old foreman, learned the ropes. When he moved on, I stepped up. All part of the plan, mate. I'll see myself out. You can fiddle with the machine? The boxy machine squeaks and shakes as its wide, patchy belt rotates along a string of rollers. A covered chute leads onto the machine. A metal door on the other side looks like it houses the controls, and thin cables snake off into the building. Whirr. The machine buzzes at you. Take some junk. Talk to you. The young man stares morosely down at the pickings as they roll past him. He shoves his hair out of his eyes, gives you a hard glance, and stares back at the line. Who are you? Bruce! Lorimer. With just another dead-end cog in this stupid machine. What's the job you're doing? Shit picking, make work, slave labour. Worst of the menial jobs. Are you from around here? Unfortunately. How long have you been at this? You think? It's been too fucking long. I didn't have the patience for their stupid tests, so they stuck me here. Until your aptitude improves, they said. Pfft, Buckley's. I'm surprised this doesn't have a Australianism pop-up. This means no bloody chance. You want my advice? You want to change your situation? Change your attitude. No shit. Is that what it takes? Just buckle down and everything magically gets better? Maybe I don't want to help these fuckers with anything. I've got to go.
Mate, is that... It is. That's Elsie Ryan from Brookton. I thought she was dead.
The woman was focusing on her work, head down, but now her head snaps up. Shock and joy wore on her face. How did you survive Brookton? Who else made it out? What are you doing here? Oh my god, I can't believe it. She looks like she's about to cry. How did you survive the attack? I was hiding in the house with my Mel while Finn, my husband, was out on the walls. When the shooting stopped, I heard people going house to house. They separated the kids and the parents, and one of the women from their group was talking to the children. The woman, something Wakefield, she said her name was, pulled me and a few of the others out of the group, told us to take the kids to the wagon. The raiders had parked behind the trees. When we were out of sight, the colour drains from her face. That's when they started shooting the others. Said we'd be looking after the kids till we got to Kalgoorlie. We're not kidnappers, best to keep them with familiar faces. So what, these Wakefield characters loaded you and the kids into wagons and brought you here? That's right. They didn't want to leave a resistance behind, but they didn't want these kids to be orphaned either. They asked them which parents they wanted to travel with, and the other one wound up catching the bullet. I pray to God Mel never finds out that Dad died because she chose me. It'd ruin her. Have you seen any other survivors? Not really. When we got here, they gave us a place to live and said they'd test us for fitness. Said we had the option to decline, but they'd put us out. Anyone who didn't pass their test could stay in the city, but they'd be basically slaves. Fed, housed, but not in a great part of the city. Luckily, I passed. The kids go to school all day, I see them at the end of my shift, and then they're off to bed so they can get up for schooling. Actual schooling, can you imagine? I hardly see them anymore. The other adults, I think only a few made it, and I don't know where they've been put. I've seen some of my old neighbours on the chain cruise. We're not supposed to talk to them, any of us bronzes, but me especially. The bosses say they'd probably try to hurt me because they're jealous I made it. What are you doing here? I passed the test, so I'm a citizen now. They put me to work in the factory during the day, and then I go to school or the temple at night to learn about the city and my part in the plan. I'm even learning to read. Factory work is hard, it's true, but it's no worse than driving sheep or fixing up Brookton. And at least I'm out of the sun. Almost sounds like you're living here. I'm getting used to it. I miss Finn, of course. He'd have liked it here. It's safe and we have enough to eat. And if something in our household breaks, someone will come along and fix it. It's like living in a real society. We don't have to do everything for ourselves. Best of all, I don't have to kick Mick's ass every time we want to do something. He talked a big game about self-reliance, but what he really wanted, what he really meant, was he liked being the big man in charge. Don't miss him, not at all. Oi, it ain't social club. You got work, so work. Ollie's got a big mouth, but he's got a big heart too. Mick, though, he had black coal. So yeah, I like it better here. I just wish Finn was with me. I'll talk to you later. Amy? The woman glances up at you as she's sorting through the pile of rubbish rolling down the belt. The lines around her eyes deepen as she gives you a broad grin. She looks back down at her work. G'day. You looking for Amy Carver? You found me. Can't talk, gotta focus. What do you do here? Sortin' crap. We recycle what we need here and pass the rest to the next station. We're one of the first in line, so we go through, well, a lot. How long have you been doing this and do you like it? Do you mean today? Since sunup. If you mean like life, a few years. Sometimes they rotate me around the factory to do other jobs, but I'm good at this one, so I'm usually back here within a few months. It's hard work, but it helps everyone and that makes it easier. You from around here, born and raised. Been outside the wall a couple of times, but it's not the life I want. Gotta go. Later, mate. Pity the poor sod who has to climb in there when something gets stuck. Scrap for me, but not for thee. Venting near a ventilation shaft is bound to get you arrested. So, the raid on our original town was not just destroying everything, but they also stole a whole bunch of the children. And a couple of the adults. I don't know why. Maybe this is only meant to be one hand icon and it's just in the wrong place. Yeah, there's another one there. Crowbar, sure. Ingot. If you had to draw a picture of a jolly barkeep, this bloke would probably be the result, assuming you weren't totally shit with a pencil. He turns his twinkling eye on you. Oi, mucker, welcome to the Ingot. Best weddy in town. I'm Harvey Tapper. What'll it be? Can I see the menu? Just so you know, we got a 3-drink limit. He passes over the menu. Happy to answer your questions. What's up with the limit? Orders from above. Everyone gets their drinks for free. Bosses want people to get some pleasure in life. And why tempt people to make money by brewing and selling their bathtub booze? But then the Golds reckon if they cut everyone off at 3 drinks, they'll get all the benefits of booze without the drawbacks. Fights, drunks. So here we are, 3 drinks. How is the beer? It's the one spot where it's a fig jam. I'm a solid fucking lager. Oh no, it's a solid fucking lager, pardon my language. Brew the beer myself, bottle it myself, and I'd drink it all by myself if I could. What's your mead like? Not too bad, honestly. Made of fermented honey. Comes from a little place down in Widgymultha. Smooth, complex flavors. If you like sweet drinks, recommended. What can you tell me about the rum? Guy I know from way up near old Kimberley decided he'd have a go at growing sugarcane and making his own rum. Best thing I can say for it is it gets the job done. Good for sterilizing wounds too. Where the hell did you get the whiskey? I just started as a hobby really. I've been studying it a while and I think I've got the basics. Look, I can see promise, but it ain't there yet. Got any other questions? What do you do around here? I'm the bartender. It's a pub, right? We used to have a pool table, but some drongo decided to go dancing on it one night. Hard to make a bank shot across boot divots. Tell me more about the bar. How long you got? Short version is, it used to be a miner's pub and it went to shit when the world did. Still, it was good enough, Nick. that when Gwen Gold came here to Kalgoorlie, she used it as a base of operations. We used to have a tunnel connected to the pit in the back. Seems Gwenny and her pals used it to get back and forth without the scavvies seeing them. But Sarge Squire here got the entry sealed off. Said she wanted to keep local bogans from exploring. And what's your story? Born and raised here. Showed a talent for mixing, did some magic, but wasn't quite sharp enough to get into gold. That's fine though. That's fine, I'm happy here. Morning, Salah. I'm off. Ooh. This is a big area. I'm looking for a white plastic rope. But that's about it. If those were comics, I'd be interested. Nope. Well, we're starting to get real rich. What's 2,000 bucks doing us when I could have 2 extra action and move points? Or 3 extra action? Honestly, I think the 3 extra action is better than the 2 action and 2 move. The hat and the plus intelligence plus health armor. Goodbye, money. Now, what do we got to sell? Pistol, pistol, pistol. Spear, knife. Pistol. Pistol. Rifle, hammer. Shotgun. Pistol. Club. Sniper. Rifle. Pistol. Knife. Club. Rip money. But hello. Fancy new hat. Hello, health and intelligence. That gives her an extra action point, so she can have it. And then the +1 action point can go on... That gets her up to 1 more stab. Whereas it wouldn't get him up to 2 castings of his magic spell. So I think it goes there. Sentimental trinket. Gold ring and opal. Gold flakes. No. No. Ah, you could get the broken solar panels if you wanted them here. Actually, no, they're fixed solar panels. G'day, young fella. Here to buy some opal? What have you got to trade? Safety vests, hats. He has got scrap. Sealant? Yeah, it's only 20 bucks. Go for it. So many vendors here. And then you, and then you. No. None of them have the white cord we want, though. Scrap, done. Eh. The guard at this gate, unlike at the entrance to this city, studies you carefully. It's like a visual pat-down. Identification, please. Speak to the Chief Clerk of City Hall. He'll provide forms for authorization and approval. Oh, there's a building we could go in. Hotel Metropole? And then we're back where we started. Then we're back where we started. I need to do the middle of the city. But we might as well do that hotel first. Although I could also check. A little bit more over here. Though it doesn't look like there's anything. No. Okay, what's the hotel got? It's got colourful plants. Oh, hello, you made it to Kalgoorlie too. A place for fire, and every fire in its place. An act to enable Her Majesty to assent to a bill for conferring a constitution on Western Australia. 25th of July, 1890. Take all the garbage. It's one of those paintings where the eyes follow you no matter where you go. Sally Eads. Well, if it isn't my old favourites, how the bloody hell have you been? Barmaiden, please, we must have absolute silence if we are to plumb the depths of human consciousness. Been a long time since I was a maiden, mate. But she waves you over and lowers her voice. What does she sell? Quiche? Sausage sizzle? No. Continue. How did you escape Brookton? They blew my bloody leg off. I know I've got your leg. Yeah, is this your leg? She sees the look on your face. Nah, the other one, the wooden one. Crept up on me from behind and dropped me like a sack of shit. Woke up in a wagon with no gun, no leg, and the town burning on the horizon. Didn't have much fight in me. So I let him bring me here. Is this your leg? Hey, yeah, she takes it enthusiastically. And it's in pretty good nick. Thanks, mate. Might be able to get off this bloody peg leg they've stuck me with. You still running the buy 3, get 1 free deal? Not a chance. The ingot's got a 3 deal maximum for one thing. But here, everything's free, provided you're a gold. Okay, goodbye. Well, carrying around that leg for this whole game has now proven to be some use. It's like, what? 15 hours later? The leg club is useful. The guard's mask covers his face, but cannot hide his faintly contemptuous eyes. The truncheon at his waist emits a faint glow when he touches it. What do you need? What's the magic stick you got? Like it? Made it myself. Lets me know when someone's lying to me. Oh, and I filled it with lead so it hits a lot harder than the standard issue one. Why are you stationed here? Punishment, I guess. Lipped off to the commander one too many times. He reckoned I needed some spiritual guidance. Haven't found anything like it so far, though. What are you doing here? Doesn't seem like the kind of place that needs guards. You'd be shocked at what quote-unquote religious people get up to, mate. They figure they get preached at, they get dispensation to be the biggest shitlickers in the city. Night, Akaturbo. Got any good stories? Yeah, I'd love to hear one. Once, there was a fancy-pants gold bloke and his Sheila flat out busted by his real missus. She came in here, mad as a cut snake, took me and my mate a bit of time to get him off her. Tore his mask off, half blinded him, took his lip. Don't put your dick in crazy, mate. Got any more stories? Fights, stabbings, fires? Just a week ago, I spent most of my shift putting out a fire, some dillweed set by smoking near the bookshelves. So much flammable stuff around here, mate, you'd be surprised. I have more questions. No, I don't. Talk to the priestly guy? The skinny man's garment is sloppy and slightly stained. The odor of the unwashed wafts from him. Not overpoweringly, but noticeably. The mask doesn't cover the liver spots on his bald head or the wrinkles on his neck. Welcome to the Temple of Knowledge, Seeker. How can I help you? I'm curious about the history of Kalgoorlie and heard that you're the man. Quite right. I wrote a book, in fact. I dug through the city's old written records and histories, separating fact from fiction. Apparently it wasn't sufficiently masturbatory because they locked it away in the city. But you didn't come here for my whining. Okay, let's do it. Where do you want to start? Before the great fuck-up, or after? You know? Beyond Thunderbox. Give me the history before the war. We were a major gold town, formed 250 years ago during a gold rush. One thing led to another, and next thing you know, the place was the biggest draw in the West. Lots of mines, combined about 150 years ago into the Fimiston Super Pit. They said it was the largest in the world. Then, around 100 years ago, the gold started to run dry. Needed something, what with the enormous hole, and the politicians figured they could use it to be a science lab for experiments that, well, honestly, I have no idea what they were. Some sort of particles or something. When the bombs dropped, something in the lab slipped out of place. Oh yes, this is an extremely Australian game. And yes, it means lady. The world got shivery. Most everyone working in the pit that day got vaporized. That was the end of old Kalgoorlie. What happened after the war? At first, it was a ghost town, literally. Scavengers said that they would see things that vanished. Damned souls, monsters in the streets. A scientist named Gwen Gold heard these stories and returned to Kalgoorlie with a band of eggheads and explorers. You might have seen the statue to her in the plaza. She studied the Shiva in the pit and mastered its secrets. Better yet, she learned to harness it. She built the academy to train her people in logic, rigor, and focus. She was the first mage, though I hesitate to use that term. She used her power to reshape the city and its surroundings. They were making a whole society from scratch. Instead of half-assing it, one of her chums was researching the topic in the library in his off hours. In Plato's Republic, he saw Gwen's last name was the metal of the philosopher kings of the book. Appealed to her vanity, I guess, because that became the model for Kalgoorlie. Why did they hide your book? Probably because I didn't praise Gwen Gold enough. In fact, I dug into some of the personal accounts her crew kept, and it turns out she was a bit, well, how to say it diplomatically, a bit of a monster. In fairness, she was brilliant, never doubt that. She expected people to live up to her standards. She pushed her assistants hard, made them take risks that she wouldn't, and I suspected that she took credit for some of their work. For instance, she wasn't the first mage. She was just the first one that didn't blow up. She was always a big picture person, focused on building a better world for her community. Cheers, Cal, welcome. But she had no care for the people that stood in her way. So this is a problem with my book. I was just honest. I didn't write a hagiography. Since they locked away all the other source material in the same place as my book, I reckon they want a particular flavour of history on the official record. Is this close to being a wasteland, or is it a fail? I really quite like it. There's probably a bit too much talking and a bit less action than most people will want, and the fights, after the first maybe dozen of fights, it becomes a bit too easy. At least I've found it really easy, especially once you unlock the magic. But otherwise it's good. The truth wasn't good enough for them. I'm not bitter or anything. Anyone else here know the true history? I knew a kid, Graffin. For the fella he replaced, he's not half bad. I know he's been looking through other histories and putting pieces together. I have other questions. I can only imagine how many books and papers have been hidden from the people of Kalgoorlie to keep people in line. Doesn't it worry you? Of course it does. I'm a gold. I'm meant to explore thought and debate every conclusion I can think of. But what I desire means nothing to the ones in power. I came here looking for the truth. The truth. Alright. The world's shit. People in power are manipulating you for their benefit. And we're all gonna die one day. Some of us sooner than others. The truth, in the words of Kalgoorlie's wisest, it's a mishmash fiction used to pander and dominate the minds of workers. Nuts and bolts, added on anytime someone has a vaguely interesting spiritual idea. What is this place? It's the Grand Temple of Kalgoorlie, the former public library, because knowledge is our highest aspiration. He's trying and failing to keep the irony from his voice. Most of the front has been repurposed for other buildings, and the bulk of the library's collection is locked away in the basement to keep it safe. So services are out here, as well as the bits of the library deemed suitable to the general public. Tell me a bit about yourself, would ya? Officially, I'm subdeacon of the Church of Kalgoorlie. Unofficially, I'm one of the former councillors of the city, put out to pasture to make room for a new crop of hotheads rising up through the ranks of the gold class. Never mind the merits, never mind the years of service I put in. I mean, I suppose it's alright that I'm here. Some of my cohort are just writing treatises that no one will ever read, pretending to be useful till they die. What do you actually do here? Counsel the visitors, provide moral instruction, answer questions about the city, with a bonus of whinging and moaning when the mood strikes. Occasionally, if the mood strikes me, I'll have an interesting conversation with the guard on duty. He glances over at the guard. It's a lost cause today, though. This bloke, Parker, I've tried to talk to him before, and he wasn't having a bar of it. I suspect he's smarter than he looks, but then I suppose he'd have to be. Gotta run, mate. Talk to you later. I'll be here counting the flowers or something. The people of Kalgoorlie take enlightenment very seriously. Okay, and then let's actually bite the bullet and go visit City Hall. Okay. Magical barrier? It smells and tastes of ozone. Best not to lick it. The clerk of Kalgoorlie is a tall, slim man with an intricately carved mask. He's scanning through papers on his desk and holds up a finger for silence. Wait patiently. He finishes his work, tidies his pile of papers, and cocks his head as he focuses on you. A tiny snort escapes him. I am Jazz Clark, chief clerk of the city. You must be new in town. How did you get a job here? Rigorous testing, eye for detail, strict adherence to the ethical code, and a genuine love for the city and its future. I've been told I would like to become a citizen. He raises his eyebrows. You wish to become a citizen? The path is arduous and you must prove yourself through many trials. Quests complete. Speak to this guy. New quest. An important aspect of assigning you to your role is your magical aptitude. I believe Assessor Keen is on duty today. He'll see you through the rest of it. I look forwards to your return. Complete the magical aptitude test. I met Kev, the Philosopher King of Kalgoorlie. He suggested I apply for citizenship. Managed to set up one of the 3 trades for the people of Kuada. And we don't know how to find them camels. No one that has camels seems to want to sell it. When the walls ceased their trembling, everything had changed. Out of the rubble strode a man, glowing like a god, yet with naked fear in his eyes. The world withered away when he walked. And what did he do with such power? He fled. Scientific observations of Gwengold. I don't see this other person, so unless it's you, slow day, maybe I meant to go downstairs? I'm sorry, this area is off limits except to credentialed researchers. So they kick us out back upstairs. Well, where am I meant to do this? At the academy. Well, to the academy then, I guess. We're in the wrong building. Yes. Now, who am I meant to talk to here? No idea, but we'll talk to you again. Maybe now you'll give me the magical aptitude test. You feel a slight tingle as he regards you, almost like sunlight breaking through the shade of a tree's leaves. The clerk at City Hall sent you, did he? Wonderful! Normally this is where I'd test you for magic, but I can see you've already had your potential unblocked by one of our most rigorous assessors. He frowns. Haven't seen that sigil in a while. Anyway, you get to skip ahead. Let's look for where you belong. Your other aptitudes. You get 3 tests, one for each of the pillars that supports Kalgoorlie. The first is for bronze, the labourers who hold the city together. The second is for silver, the guardians. The third is for gold, the thinkers and guides. We are all equal, all important, and all in this together. One of us falls, the others do too. It's important that we get this right. If we put you someplace you don't belong, you won't thrive. If you don't thrive, the city will decay. Like I said, we're all in this together. He studies you briefly. Let's get you down to the bronze housing. We'll see how you do in the factory. Complete the bronze test inside the factory. Okay. Can do. We've been to the factory. Also, did I not notice that before? That there was a bookshelf behind the library? No, I did notice, or else it's empty. Okay, do we talk to the boss man here for the aptitude test? Justin Keene has sent me, part of the citizen test, I guess. Right then, I reckon Keene told you what this place was about. I'll fill you in. I'm Ollie Masters. Boss of the production line, get assigned here, I'm your boss too. We're the bronze class, yeah? That means we're in charge of everything in the city you can touch. Factories, farms, roads, sewers, you name it. It's the dirty work. If you'd rather play copper, or I don't know, drink... If you'd rather play copper, as in be a bobby, be a policeman, I don't know, drink tea and gab all day, it's another class for you. Bronze is hard work, and mate, you best believe we're proud we do it. No space for bludgers, lazy people. Here, everything you see in Kalgoorlie is our sweat and labour. Without it, the city falls. Right, ready to get to work? I've got a few questions. Can you tell me about the job? What does it involve? We park you next to this moving belt. Parts and pieces come down the belt. You sort them into usable or broken bins. Doesn't require a ton of brainpower, but definitely needs a keen eye. Who has to take this test? Depends on what the city needs at the time. Sometimes folks get farm tests, sometimes they get infrastructure. Lucky for you, we're short in production these days. Other people here happy? Ask them yourself, as long as you don't spend too much time. I reckon they're happy enough. We've got a purpose, we've got a place, which is more than some people have. That's enough questions. Depends on what the work is. I'm going to have you on the scrap line. Won't require a ton of brainpower, but you'll have to stand and keep an eye on your work. We need this junk sorted. Okay, let's have a go. That's the spirit. I'll get you on the line. The boxy machine squeaks and shakes as its wide, patchy belt rotates along a string of rollers. The covered chute leads into the machine. A metal door on the side looks like it houses the controls, and thick cables snake off into the building. Right. He slaps the side of the machine. See this junky old conveyor belt? We call her Scrappy. She'll be carrying scrap materials harvested by the other teams. You'll see a lot of crap you don't need to worry about. Your job is to grab anything with more than half a kilo of metal in it and toss it into the wheelie bin. Easy peasy, eh? You don't have any questions? I'll let you know to start dumping the loads in and get... I'll let them know to start dumping the loads in and get Scrappy running. You say this setup's junky? How about I fix it? If you can fix it, I'll give you highest marks on the test. But if you try and end up breaking it, I'm going to fail you. I'd rather have 50% efficiency than 0. Ah, so finally, this is the first time I remember that we might actually get to test our tinker skill. Now that said, we haven't invested anything in our tinker skill, so we're going to be ignoring it, but nice to actually see a use for it. Why are we sorting this? You'd be surprised at how many people can't muster enough attention to do the job right. If you haven't got an eye for detail, this isn't the job for you. Plus, it's work that needs done. Let's have a go. The machine spins and squeaks. You hear a rattle and thump of ancient crap dumped into the hopper. A stream of rubbish starts down the line towards you. open the panel on the side? There's lots of wires and gears and cogs. Whatever this stuff is, it's complex. Beyond your skill unless you plan to smash it. Get to work. You can see why they put new people on this job. No one else wants it. Even by the law of averages, something must be on its way down. But no, it's rubbish. Just rubbish. You're looking down at your hands, watching this crap pass by on the conveyor. It's hypnotic. You get the feeling you might be missing something. Deadeye, average, continue. Deadeye, success. Fortunately, your keen senses, your intuition perhaps, maybe your ingrained instinctive survival sense, who knows, kick in and you spot a load of metal heading down the belt. You sweep it into the hopper and settle back for the next batch. Keep on with the work. Opportunist average, continue. Punt skill. During dialogue, active skill checks, which fall within the range of your character's skills plus punt points, will be displayed with a unique icon alongside the text. This will allow you to spend punt points for a chance to succeed at the tasks that you would otherwise be sure to fail. Any points you spend will only be refreshed when you next level up. So what, I could spend 4 of 10 to pass this? Sure, why not? We've never used the punts before. Hang on. Loud squeak means something heavy, means jackpot. A crap ton of metal passes by and you shove it in the bin. Sweet success. Sounds like really big coins. Keep on with the work. Vigilance average, continue. You might have dozed off. You know what? It's probably not so important to keep an eye on this stuff anyway. Seems like anyone can do it. Okay. Talk to him. See how well we've done. The work must be finished or you wouldn't be chatting here, would you? It's done. Let's have a look. Alright, here we go. He rubs his hands together like a kid ready to open a present. Not bad at all. Solid work, not the best I've seen, but not the worst. We could use all the help we can get, honestly. Looks like it's time you get started on the next test. If you like danger, this is one for you. Our silver class are the ones who patrol our streets and our borders. They protect us from danger inside and outside the walls. This will be your trainer, Irma Wakefield. G'day, Irma. This is Blobber. They're here for their assessment. Blobber, if you have any questions for Irma, now is the time to ask. She carries herself with relaxed confidence, as if she's used to being obeyed. Her movements are quick and economical, her muscles wiry and well-defined. Her cutting eyes betray a cold humour. You're the new fresh meat, then? Fresher than a dead roo? You're not ranked silver yet. That means you're going to be holding back, offering support, and most importantly, not getting in the way of the professionals. You're one step above an observer here, got it? Wonderful. Now's the time to ask your questions. What's today's mission? Informant gave us a hot tip. Apparently, some malcontents plan to raise a bit of a ruckus. They're holed up in an old mine shaft, so we reckon we'll have a party at their place instead. Everything goes. Well, we'll bring some of them in for questioning. Easy enough. No need to worry about your skin. Do you know anything else about them? Not yet. I'll be getting a briefing package on the way to the site. If you're still curious, ask then. Most of the time, it won't affect what you're going to be doing. No worries on that score. What are we supposed to be doing? Stand around and look decorative? Or maybe take initiative if it becomes necessary. Your backup. That means use your discretion. If things are going to shit, step in. Otherwise, butt out. What if you need my help? That's part of the mission, seeing how you make decisions in crisis, though we really hope that it doesn't come to that. Okay, let's go. Everyone's here. Grand. Let's get this rolling then. Asher, Quinn, this is the new testee. They're here for silver evaluation. She holds up a hand to forestall what must be an inevitable interjection. I know, we all think it's straight nuts to let outsiders into silver, but we're not gold, are we? We don't give the orders, we take them, so suck it up and get the job done. Asher Page gives you a thorough once-over, kind of an insultingly long one, really. Reckon as long as they follow orders and stay out of the way, we're solid. After that last fucker decided to go all Ned Kelly on a domestic, I'll be happy if we can keep the body count in the low double digits. You two finished yet, or can I give the briefing? After a moment of silence, she continues. Right, we're looking at 4 bronze perps in here. They're not afraid to get physical. The charge is public corruption and bribery, so they know what's waiting for them, if we can take them alive. It's a bonus, but I'm not counting on it. When the action starts, do not be waving your magic tits around without clearly assessing the situation first. Got it? You have a chat to these people before kicking in the door? Not my job. Safety of the community is. I'm assuming the high muckety mucks have done their due diligence, because they shouldn't be calling me for anything but danger. So the plan is for me to sit back and watch? Rook, you've got no idea of the ration of shit I'd catch if something happened to you. Yes, stay back, but if we need help, I expect you to come running. I'd rather you get a few bumps or scrapes than be dead myself. Plus, if I die, you fail, so you know, there is that. Let's do this. Asher, Quinn, take positions. Hand over the prisoners now. Yeah, nah. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of people called Spicer. Well. No. Here, scroll. Flower them. Flower them again. Flower them again. Good enough. You... Boo. Boo. Not enough action points to shoot again. Fine. Club mode. Get up in their grill. You... spike this person. And again. And then this person. Or this person. They're too far away. Fine. Get as close as you can. I'm surprised that person isn't stabbable from here, but... Stabbing. Let's go. You can probably magic finish off that person. Close, but not quite. And you know what? Go lend an aid to surrounding this person. I will use heal on Jess. Right, this spell is just way too good. Are there even any bad guys left? Yes, over there. Can't get over there and club them to death. Get as close as you can. Swap back to the shotgun. Shotgun face. Reload and... Stabby, stabby, stabby. Try again. You have failed miserably, and I am disappointed in you. Change back to the gun. Victory. Right, that's settled then. Time for a post-mortem. Frankly, I don't have a lot to say. We all came home safe, that's what counts. Could we have done better? Sure. Faster reaction, better breach, but that's on me, not you. I got no complaints, and I'll give you a big thumbs up to Keen. Head on over to the Metropole Hotel for your gold test. Talk to Simone at the Metropole Hotel for the gold test. So they would have basically sent me around the whole city anyway doing this citizenship test. Oh yes, sorry, wrong door, my bad. Hotel was this way, right? Yes. Talk to Simone. Well, I don't see a Simone, I see a Sally. Maybe this person is now Simone? Simone Midgley. Keen tells me that you are keen to be productive members of our society. Let us begin. I'm privileged to be one of the directors of Kalgoorlie's future. I'll be discussing a range of topics with you to assess your fitness for our class. I want you to answer honestly, not what you think I want you to hear. Unfortunately, as usual, my colleague Lester Gaffin is running late, so we'll begin without him and ensure... Well, and perhaps he'll grace us with his presence eventually. Don't most people in Kalgoorlie have names that describe their jobs? Mine do. We are a society that values thought and philosophy. Those of us who lead take names of influential thinkers from the past and study what we can of their work. It is our burden and our honour to carry that work into the future. I chose Simone de Beauvoir and Mary Midgley. What can you tell me about Gavin? Young, impetuous, prone to bursts of outrage. But I repeat myself, don't I? All of that is the province of the young, and with time and wisdom we mellow. I expect the same from him, otherwise he may find himself in a less demanding line of work. Tell me about the people you're named after. Briefly, Simone de Beauvoir was an early pioneer in understanding patriarchy, that is, a system in which women are systematically excluded from power and decision-making. Can you imagine a society in which someone is considered inferior merely due to an accident of birth? One might argue that every society exalts unearned hidden qualifiers, some more apparent than others because our intelligence is a success. This is a point. We must always consider the structures that surround us, rather than criticising those of others. Part of de Beauvoir's work lay in examining and dismantling those structures. The other woman, Mary Midgley, was a philosopher, an advocate for animal rights and an ethicist. She was notably also fiercely critical of attempts to view the world through a single lens of knowledge, arguing that each field of study contributes in its own way. Do you have any questions before let's begin? Let's get on with it. Wonderful. Let's chat about reason. Some hold that only statements that can be empirically verified are meaningful. How would you respond? Intelligence, success. Absolutely, without clear, provable experience guiding us, we're vulnerable to emotional manipulation and faulty reasoning. Intelligence, success. Observation and experience are vital, yes, but logic, intuition, deduction, and reason are indispensable tools to reasoning and understanding. Intelligence, success. I reject it as self-indulgent thinking that refuses to acknowledge that solutions and answers to everyday questions can arise from a variety of sources. Well, we're practical, so I'm going to go with the sometimes weird answers can come from weird places. That's a novel approach to argumentation these days, refuting the very grounds of the argument in the first place. Perhaps we better move on. So, we've discussed empiricism, untouched on how we can know something, and this man walks in with a spring to his step. His voice is a friendly bass. Sorry I'm late. Unavoidable, really, lots of meetings. I'm Lester Gaffin. Have I missed anything? Tardy again, Gaffin. Really, you'll need to learn proper time management if you're going to succeed in this role. I always appreciate your input, Midgley. It is a true guidepost for the kind of person I aspire to be. He turns to you. Academia. The lower the stakes, the more vicious the squabbles. Now that I'm here, I reckon you can weigh in on an ongoing discussion Simone and I are having. Maybe settle it for us. Better than another boring discussion about the nature of reason or something, right? If you're convincing enough, one of us might even sponsor you. Okay, I'm game. Fantastic. I'll try to word this as neutrally as possible so as not to influence your outcome. Let's look at the statement, humans are social animals. Do you agree, and if so, what does it say about the societies we create? We are social animals with emphasis on the animal. We need to stop pretending we don't have animal needs and reactions. Every society that ignores this is doomed to failure. I don't agree. I think we're better than animals, or we can be. It's important for us to aspire to be more. I suppose I agree, but I'd emphasize the social aspect. We want to be together for safety or status, but too often people don't put a lot of thought into how to build a society and it just grows. I don't agree, and I don't think animals have anything to teach us. I'd say humans are social and try to build a society based around those needs. Now, none of these have any outlay on our, any influence on our worldview o-meter. Yeah, I think we should put more thought into how we build our society. Ironically, what you're saying really emphasizes the animal part. By accepting the company of others without structure, we fall into more instinctive patterns, which, as history has shown us, can lead to catastrophic outcomes. Nothing about that statement presupposes we're animals, Gaffin, unless you regard thoughtlessness as a hallmark of animal nature, which I suppose you might find relatable. My turn for a question. Before I ask, let me outline how our society is structured. We've based our society on the classic teachings of the philosopher Plato, as outlined in his work The Republic. We raise our children communally. The only parent they know is the city, so they won't be corrupted by family ties. We school them, provide outlets for their energy and aggression, and instill in them a love for justice and knowledge. In their adolescence, they prove their aptitude in mind, body, and spirit, and based on those results, we sort them into 3 groups. Thus, we have the bronze class, which labours for the good of the city, the silver, which protects us all, and the gold, focused on guidance of the city and the intellectual arts to benefit all. How would you improve on this if you think it's possible? I think it's a great system, keep it like it is. Lie, I think it's a great system, keep it like it is. Plato, really? Maybe look for more recent thinkers. Someone around after the invention of mass production, for instance. The world changed and humanity changed with it. Why lock someone into a test they took when they were a teen? Are you the same person you were a decade ago? I like that answer the most out of these. I acknowledge your point and don't disagree. At the same time, we're raised to respect knowledge and the strength of thought. Plato was one of the greatest thinkers the world has known. One of the foundational thinkers of antiquity. Do you honestly think anyone in this fallen age could match his insight? Not necessarily, but surely there are people with more specialized knowledge in the development of societies. Yeah, antiquity. There are centuries between his time and now. How relevant could he be in this era of the gun and the ute? Sure, I've met some people in the last few weeks. Hell, I could do a better job. I'm inclined to go with 1. There are surely, if you're asking about how to build a society, there's better than thinking about general philosophy. Exactly. Just because you agree doesn't make the answer right, Gaffin. Are we ready to move on then? When thinking about an ideal society, who should benefit the most and why? The people who created the society. They did the work, they should reap the rewards. Everyone should have the same opportunities. If a society is inequitable, it will surely topple itself. The people who can make the most from the society's rules. They're smart and driven to succeed. No one should benefit most. Distribute the benefits, share the wealth, so that each person can thrive. This and this feel functionally the same to me, but this feels slightly more active in its communism. Delightful in theory, but it seems naive in practice. He laughs. Midgley, you do realize you're describing our own fair city here. We're supposed to be a city of opportunity after all. But you've as much admitted that it doesn't work. It speaks directly to the point I've been trying to make. Midgley, have heard enough to make a judgment. Have you? I've made up my mind, certainly. To be frank, I didn't find you especially witty, but logic and rationality demand that I set aside my personal dislike for your arguments, which was solid enough, I suppose. Yep, you're all right, mate. I reckon you'd be a decent addition to our city if you plan to make a go of being a citizen here. While you weren't the best candidate we've seen, you certainly are good enough that we'd accept you. You could be an adequate addition to our intellectual family. Our colleague, Anselm Scanlon, will have the final say. They should be here shortly. The man is thin, almost aesthetic. His eyes are hard and jewel-like behind his mask. He studies you as he would an insect, dispassionately, calculatingly, judgmentally. His silence stretches as he stares. You must be Anselm Scanlon? His response is silence. Well, what are we going to talk about? He harumphs quietly and continues to stare. This part of the test or what? The wordless quiet stretches on. At last he rasps out, do we know justice exists? Do we know that justice exists? Sure, it's ingrained in us. Even children cry out for justice when they're wrong. On a grand cosmic scale, doubtful. We know justice exists because we make it possible in human society. It's a big topic, mate. Are you talking about crime and punishment, fair treatment under the law, or how a society is structured in general? No, that just feels like you're waffling to me. Yeah, I like B the most. You assert that justice is a concept purely of our own devising. How do you explain its commonality in every culture, then? Societies need laws or they fall apart. The idea of justice is a tool used to keep people in line. This is not the use of the word tool like that, so that shouldn't be highlighted. It's a valuable concept that keeps people working towards a common goal. Because people like to believe what they and others will get what they deserve, whether punishment or reward. No, that one. A simple tool and no more, not a goal towards which people can strive, not an ideal to attain. Let us set aside that for a moment so that I can get right to the heart of the matter. How far are we permitted to go, morally and ethically, to defend ourselves and our communities from existential threats? And should we face consequences for those acts? We have a moral, ethical, and biological imperative to defend ourselves. I'd say there is no act that crosses the line. Worry about the consequences later. We can act as necessary, but we have to live with ourselves afterwards. It might mean trial, exile, or even execution, perhaps just a guilty conscience. We can go as far as our moral code demands and no further. What does it mean to survive if we give away everything that we hold dear? We do have to live with ourselves. A balanced response, thoughtful. Then how would you answer the assertion from highly placed individuals in this city that our first obligation is to ensure that the dream of the founders survives? If circumstances change, our actions have to change as well. No point in shackling ourselves to a tombstone. Look to the past for inspiration and guidance, but be flexible when necessary. Or, the traditions of our elders are a sacred charge. To throw them away in a moment of weakness severs us from our roots. No. I like 1 or 2. Using the past as a guideline rather than a stricture. Change from the argument that places Gwen Gold on a pedestal. He glances towards a window. He closes his eyes for a long moment. Very well, I've come to a decision. My colleagues are impressed with you. For some reason, I approve their recommendation, but note that it comes with reservations. That includes that concludes our interview. I'll let Keen know our decision. Good day. Get your final result from Justin Keen. So go back to City Hall. Wait, this doesn't feel like... No, it is City Hall. Okay, what do you have to say? Someday I'll be able to get my work done without interruption. He sighs. What's your business? No? What are the glowing plants? You mean our unique flora? The Prostrata candentis cassandras. We call them the Cassies. One of our biologists found a way to husband a flower we found as we resettled the area. Beautiful, aren't they? You? Am I maybe meant to go back and talk to the bossy boss? I forget his name. It might also be the guy in the Magical Academy that we're meant to talk to. This is on me for being terrible with names, mostly. Yeah. Well, we've got the results from your interview at the Metropole. This is it. Great job. Looks like Irma put in a good word for you, because you're a Guardian now. Silver, and looks like you're being seconded to the Golds for something. Head over to the Metropole and talk to Scanlan. Of liberty and necessity. Okay, let's talk to him. Our newest Guardian, welcome Protector. He doesn't sound sarcastic, but it's honestly hard to tell with his flat delivery. Your commander has no doubt informed you that you've been seconded to me until such a time as this operation is over. I'll be brief. Malcontents have chosen to express their displeasure with our leadership. We've heard rumours of possible violent action forthcoming. It's time to put a stop to their delusions. Your first assignment as a citizen is to go to the Ingot pub, befriend the locals, get invited to their rebellion. The passphrase is the word Diggerful? Oh, do I look like I give a fuck? Okay. Dilligaff. If anyone asks, tell them you've been planning a way to hurt Kalgoorlie since the destruction of your town. He smiles thinly. Who knows? It might even be true. Report back to me with their plans. What's your real job here? I'm a dedicated servant. I study the people and watch for threats from within. You're the secret police, if you like. Can you tell me about the people you're named after? Anselm of Bec was a Benedictine monk famed for the articulation of the ontological argument for the existence of God, a clever piece of thinking. The other, T.M. Scanlon, was a notable professor of ethics who developed a contractualist philosophy best summed up as what we owe to each other. Because of the nature of my duties, what I know of the world beyond, and what we must do to survive, I've grown and matured beyond them. I'd choose different names now, but these are reminders of where we come from. Okay. Go to the pub. Easy enough. What'll it be then? Would it mean anything to you if I said Dilligoff? I mean, I reckon I'd wonder what I said. It'd probably hurt my feelings for a moment, but then I'd get over it. So, not him. Ah, because it's not technically... No, you'd think this counts at night. Well then, let's actually have a beer. Try the mead, give the rum a shot. Okay. And yet... I don't see anyone who seems talkable and as if they're part of a rebellion. And they keep to their 3 drinks rule. Maybe I meant to raise complaints about... Yes, the clock is behind me. 12:37 p.m. I can move myself up slightly. There you go. Yeah, I understood what he meant, Salah. I mean, we could make it AM. Okay, there's more people. What'll it be then? So, you didn't give me anything. What about these other people? Okay, so it's just that this city looks like it's at night even during the day. Piss off. Harvey said there used to be tunnels here. Used to be, maybe. Who are you and what do you do here? I'm Josh Cartwright. I'm a drover. Mostly transporting animals to and from pasture or to the slaughterhouse. Do you like living here? Why'd you ask? Raiders from here wiped out a town I was working at. Wanted to see if they're pure arsehole. Pure arsehole? Nah, most folks are true blue. Just a bit of bullshit from the usual suspects, you know. Not hardly. Keep it up. Okay, and you? The man has stains up his forearms and a piercing stare. which he's directing at the nearby dartboard. He glances idly at you and says, "Name's George. Fancy a game after these pisspots finish massacring the wall. I hear there's tunnels nearby. How'd you strain your arms? I'm a textiles tradie. I get to handling the fabric when it's fresh out of the dye vats. Occupational hazard, I reckon. How are these two playing? Like people fucking for the first time. Lots of enthusiasm and giggling and asking if it's in yet. Oh, and while they're having a grand old time, it's painful as hell for everyone else to watch. How would you react if I said this? I'd say we should play some darts and later have a chat about your worrying lack of fucks. I'm up for a match, let's do it. Bloody oath. Finally, someone with balls around here. Right, let's get these two mincing bludgers off the board and throw some fucking darts. So, this game we're throwing is individual slices, noted by the numbers around the board. You've got to hit them in order. Hit 1, then 2, and so forth. After you land on 20, you win by hitting a bullseye. One change. We throw 5 darts per turn instead of the usual 3. Okay. I'll go first because I'm a rude bastard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total precision. Look at that, you're up, mate. Inspect the darts. They're darts, about 12 centimeters. Wood. Front weighted with a sharp metal tip. 3 feathers at the base of the shaft. Well made, but not spectacular. Step up and throw. You trade turns, each of you marching up the score ladder. Still, he's a born marksman. He hits 20 before you reach your 15, and he cocks an eye. He turns back to the dartboard and lands the bullseye. Grinning, he says, "That's why these fellas don't want to play with me anymore. Just as well you lost, though. These two would never let me hear the end of it." Noodles strikes again. So, you mentioned Dilligaff earlier. I reckon we should think on that. Let's have a quiet word over here, eh? Let's go. Now, what's got you running around with that word in your mouth? I was sent to find rebels. Because some assholes wiped out a bunch of settlements, and it's time they got what's coming to them. Alright, wait here. I might have someone who'd be interested in talking to you. Ruby Squirrer. Overheard you saying you don't give a fuck. I reckon it's because you need a cause. So, it so happens that I've got a banger of a mission for you. First, we need you to do something special. Well, that wasn't a very long scene. So, here you are in our little hidey hole. It's not much sure, but it's far from prying eyes of our overlords. See the opals in the corner along the wall? Keeps any of our masters' eyes and ears from looking at it. She pauses meaningfully and adds, "Or say out." So, you were looking for the rebels, maybe hoping to make a difference one way or another, or maybe you've got some questions first. Why'd you have to hood me? I'm surprised you agreed to talk with me. What's got you and all the others in the lurk? Why are you fighting? See this uniform? Means I've cracked some heads for the city in my time. Raised all my life to think of Kalgoorlie as the fucking cream of the crop. Ethics, justice, all that. But being the curious sort, I did a little poking around to see whose heads I was kicking in. Found out that I had been settling scores, not keeping the peace. Even then, even disgusted, I still wasn't making a move. But then I met her, and she connected the dots for me. Showed me that the problem was deeper than I'd ever dreamed. Then she convinced me we could rebuild this place into something better, something true. So, yeah, fuck it, I'm in. Who was the woman that inspired you to join the rebellion? You'll get to meet her, don't worry. I'm surprised you agreed to talk to me. You showed up at the right moment. We've got something in the works and we need more bodies. Well, I want to hear what you've got to say. You're from one of those settlements out west, I understand. One the Wakefields massacred like little chooks. Fancy a bit of payback? Abso-fucking-lutely. Maybe, depends on what you want me to do. It's not on the scale of what they did. Do it right, and it might even be bloodless. It's concerning that you aren't telling me. Job's dead simple. I'll give you a couple of packages. Let's not mince words. They're bombs. You're going to place them at the barracks and the temple. Explosive placement is your discretion. Whatever you can put it in and not get found, basically. The idea is that we contact the High Priest and the Commander after the bombs are set to warn them to get their people out. We're looking to do property damage, not cause casualties. What do you say? What if I want casualties? I just said we're looking for property damage, but once you're out of here, I can't control what you do. Just do it right, okay? Do I have to prime these or anything? Are they on a timer? We'll detonate them remotely once you're back here, and you've let me know that the job's done. Okay, let me have the explosives, and I'll be on my way. Okay, so, betray the rebellion, or do the work for the rebellion. Hard to know whether the Lost Boys treehouse aesthetic came first or the anti-authoritarian sentiment. Hey, the gang's all here. Seems perfectly safe. Is that someone that we could talk to? No. And they have a vendor? But not with anything we're particularly interested in. Okay. Let's go to the temple. See if we can talk to the man. Maybe he has an opinion on putting a bomb here. Welcome to the Temple of Knowledge, Seeker. How can I help you? I've been given a bomb to blow this place up. First let's make a save, because that seems even a bit too blasé about it for me. He seems supremely unconcerned. In that case, I suppose I'd better get my favourite books. I'd recommend placing it under the pulpit there if you want to maximise your damage. You don't seem to be particularly worried. Why would I be? If you intended terror, there's no rational reason you'd tell someone about it ahead of time. Seriously, though, I have a bomb. His breath catches in his throat. What are you planning to do with that? I was hoping you'd tell me. I'm looking to detonate it, obviously. I think I have a better solution. Guards! Guards! Okay, so the answer was he didn't believe us. Not that he was being casually blasé about it all. Okay. So same thing, I've been given a bomb. You don't seem all that worried. Gotta run, mate. And then, can we use it on the pulpit? You give the pulpit a quick once-over. There's a little cabinet at its base. Looks like it would hold materials for services. Might be a good place to hide your explosive package if you wanted to do some serious hurt. Examine it. A quick squat down and you open the cabinet door. All that's here in the cobwebs is some dusty folders stacked in the back, pushed far behind a water goblet. Sure. The old fella in the robes keeps glancing around. No chance you can do this while he's giving you the once-over. Got to distract him, you say? Okay. There's a nice shadowy recess by the door. If you were, say, some nefarious scum looking to plant a bomb, it doesn't look like anyone pays this spot much heed. On the other hand, it's all stone here, and any explosion would likely be muffled and harmless. Okay, so this is maybe like get in deeper with the rebels by technically using the bomb but putting it somewhere where it doesn't actually do very much. There's some dense shrubbery right up at the walls of the temple. One with violet flowers and the others with pink-white ones. Looks like they've got some nice shadows underneath their branches. Your explosives might only hurt a person or two here. Will there be dingoes? We've had to fight dingoes a number of times, CK Hawk. I guess we'll go with the one that doesn't hurt anyone, because we were told not to hurt people. And then the barracks. That I don't know about, but I suppose it might be in this zone that we haven't been able to get in before because we didn't have our high-tier citizen card. Whereas now we're a... high-tier citizen? I've been told to report to the barracks. Identification, please. Very good. Thank you for your patience. You're clear to enter. Yes, CK Hawk. There are dingoes and drop bears and regular-sized Australian spiders. And Ruse. Gotta fight Ruse too. And mutant wombats and normal wombats. This woman's muscular and toned without being bulky. She's got a forgettably attractive face, marred by what looks like a perpetual sneer. You're new here? Great. Listen, I need a favor. I've been trying to make a move on Isa Spears, one of the soldiers. She's been putting me off. Does a number on my pride. I reckon she might be more receptive to someone else letting her know. And I'm recruiting you for the job. Talk to her your bloody self. I have. I reckon if I send someone else, she'll know I'm serious. No. That's enough. I'm not playing matchmaker. First thing you notice is the man isn't wearing a mask. Link Wheeler. Not Joey Wheeler. I'm the armourer for the barracks here. They need someone good with their hands, so they seconded me from the factory. What's happening? I want to see what you got in there, mate. He's got a gun and some money. What do you do? Strip weapons, clean them, count and sort ammo. Not the bad work, but God is it boring. I'd love to get out of here and see something new. Does anything unusual happen around here? They don't really tell me much, so I guess it's just the usual. Squads go out, fight, come back with dirty, broken weapons. Oh, and they've got that wombat in a cage over there. I heard they were going to try training it for combat. Also, some of the Wakefields are feuding with some of the soldiers back from the wars. Something about a woman, I guess? Tell me about the squabble. Oh, it's just gossip and ear-bashing, idle chatter. I don't know a lot about it, but I guess someone's been stepping out with their lovers and they're all bothered about it. Thanks for your time. The armory is functional and orderly. There's a countertop behind which the armourer works, and some metal lockers that look like they keep weapons out of the hands of mischief makers. Examine it. One of the lockers looks to be a good place to put your explosive to do a fair amount of damage. Not too much, but not too little. Enough to send a message. Sure. Not a chance. The armourer is right here. And he's just waiting for a chance to start talking to you again. You'll need to distract him. So... And they don't mean by literally talking to him. You enter the dunny. Like all of them, it's dark and rank. Examine. Yep, it's a thunderbox, alright. Filled with a week's worth of shit and piss. Rank as hell. And what about the other one? Communal mess. This thing? Take it all. Why not? Stranger? Oh my god, they have koalas too. They have drop bears. This fella's enormous. It's like he's been carved from sun-baked leather wrapped around a boulder. Deeply tanned skin, hard angles on his face. Working man's hands at the end of thick arms. He doesn't look at you, but he somehow senses your presence. Oi, I'm Jackson Wakefield. You're the new face? Fancy doing me a favour? He doesn't wait for you to respond and points at the woman not too far away. I need you to go have a chat with that soldier. But if I leave the cage, I'm worried the monster might break free. The monster growls at him. Make it worth your while, on my word as a Wakefield. And who decides how much my while is worth? We'll be able to come to an agreement, I'm sure. You won't walk away mad, I guarantee. Got any questions? I'm not from around here, so word as a Wakefield doesn't mean anything to me. Is it any good? Our oath is our bond. When we say we're going to do something, we do it. Our friends love us, our enemies fear us, but only for a bit, because then they're dead. What do you say? I've met one of you before who was really up his own arse. Yeah? Who and what did he do? His name was James Wakefield. He burned down a town and murdered its inhabitants. James? He's a hard man, one of our toughest. And that's saying a bit. Likely took some pleasure in doing the job well. I doubt there was anything personal in it, for whatever it's worth. Fact is, we take orders, we fulfill them to the best of our duty, no matter what. All I can say is, if you've got a problem with what happened, point your rage higher up the chain. Following orders. I was only following orders. Your knowledge, you know that following orders doesn't absolve you of moral responsibility. Maybe not, but I can sleep well enough at night knowing that I'm a useful part of the toolbox that creates a better Kalgoorlie. Does that make me a bad person? In your eyes, perhaps, but to the citizen of Kalgoorlie, I'm a hero. You can guess whose opinion I care about more. You look like a vendor to me. There's an aura of authority about this man, the way he stands, he moves, he breathes. His rumbling voice sounds as though he's spent a lot of time shouting at conscripts. He gives you a respectful nod. Welcome to the team. Lieutenant Wakefield has sung your praises, and I'm looking forward to seeing you develop. The traitors wanted me to plant a bomb here in the barracks. Absolutely not. Can you do magic? How did you get this job? Who are you? I'm the commander of Kalgoorlie's security forces. What the hell are you doing here? Sorry to bother you by. Dismissed then. This seems like something I can interact with, but no. What about Isa over here? Okay. Talk to her. The soldier is working with stacks of ammunition, organizing and inventorying. She doesn't see you at first, and as your boots enter her vision, she snaps, "What now, for the love of... Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were someone else. How can I be of service? You said you thought I was someone else? Who did you think I was?" A couple of the Wakefields got back from their expedition outside the walls, and they've been sniffing around me like dogs. They think my pants are dripping, because they can handle a weapon. Ugh. Jordan and Jackson have been the most insistent, but I can't tell them to piss off directly, because they outrank me. When I try to tell my commanding officers about it, they tell me to be a big girl and handle it myself. Honestly, I shouldn't even be talking to you about it, but I'm fucking pissed, as in angry. Did you want a hand with your Wakefield suitors? Yes, please. Wait, fuck no, scratch that. Can't be seen shuffling my problems to someone else. If you could do it hush-hush, I'd be grateful. Might even be able to liberate something from our stores here. She nods at the box from her feet. Do you have any other reasons other than the obvious for shutting down their advances? Oh, hell yes! I heard a rumor they had a running tally board of how many of us common grunts they could use and lose. I'm not interested in being part of their bogan body count. I'm not some piece of meat for their entertainment. Do you know James Wakefield? What could you tell me about him? These other Wakefields, they seem like people, you know. Ooh? Ooh? Well, 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 you finally made it, he smirks at his companions. I hear you've been asking about me. Let's skip the pleasantries and get straight to business. He just starts combat? Okay. Well. Run up. Smacky. Smacky. That's your turn. Who needs grenades when we have the ability to cast magic flowers? Well, that was easy. Yoink. Yoink. Yes, we have Magic Grenade. Magic Grenade that also heals friendlies. It's better than a grenade. It does negative friendly fire. So where did this teleport me? This teleported me all the way across the other side of the map, which is painful. Level up, level up. Do we keep boosting our intelligence? I wouldn't mind having even more action points. And then for here, we've mastered 3 skills. Having some more pump points might be useful. Nah, keep working on our leadership. It's telling me I've done something, but I don't know what. I can no longer convince the poor girl that was being harassed by the Wakefields to talk to them because they're all dead is what it's trying to tell me. Fair enough. Oh, Jordan Wakefield? I've killed all your brothers and cousins. Are you going to fight me as well? I heard a rumor that you Wakefields had a bet on how many soldiers you could sleep with. Yep. So far I'm in the lead too. Got to do something to pass the time till we're back in the field. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let's go talk to her, tell her we've dealt with at least half of her problem. And then do we get the other guy distracted to maybe free the drop bear to maybe then distract the armorer man? Turns out the rumor was true. They were wagering how they could sleep with. Could have used that info when Jordan was pestering me. Ah well. What can you tell me about the war? Fucking mess is what it was. Somehow those Rue-diddlers learned how to focus their mind and pick up magic, using it in ways we never expected. It's really forcing us to adapt. But every new surprise is like a deadly shit sandwich. Okay. Save. So my aim here is to see if the distracting this guy can get the koala out, and then the koala distracts this guy so that I can plant the bomb. She said she's sick of being treated like meat by you Wakefields. Says you and Jordan are creeps. Wait, Jordan too? Oh, for the love of... Alright, look. Please just let her know I've got no interest in her love life. I've seen her train, and I'd like to gauge her interests in joining my recon squad. Fine. This isn't playing matchmaker. He just wants you to join his squad, nothing sexual. Yeah, I'd consider it. I need to see what kind of leader he is before he's commit, but I'll give him a shot. I told her what you're actually looking for. She's suspicious, but willing to be talked to once she's done what's theirs to do. Fantastic. Can't thank you enough. I could give you this. Maybe now you'll see the word of a Wakefield is good. Okay. What did he actually give me, though? Tell Jordan that Isa is an interest in her. Convince them to leave Isa alone. Well, I could tell her this girl that she isn't interested. Why can't you talk to her yourself? I haven't had a chance. No, I can't tell her that she isn't interested, seemingly. Seems like there's a missing dialogue option, perhaps. Wheeler is still watching you. What am I supposed to do about you? What do you do round here? What's your story? Same as before. What have you got for trade? Nothing that I want. And alas, I can't seem to get you to help me free the koala to maybe put the bomb in the most sensible place. It's possible that Isa's convo missed. Yeah, maybe because when we talked to her, it exited her normal dialogue chain and started the fight with the other guy one. Possibly because she was the second person I'd mentioned his name to, and it's like, if you go around the city mentioning his name enough, eventually it causes a fight, is sort of how it feels like it's intended to be. And so maybe we missed the end of her conversation chain and setting some other variable. But there's also this one. Oh, for fuck's sake, why won't that dopey-eyed tryhard just leave me alone? I reckon she fancies you. Sorry, I reckon she was aiming for a sweet gesture, not more pressure. Why don't you give her a chance? I mean, I don't agree with any of these, so that's a no then? Why? Because it's too Australian for them. Sunaj. Potentially. It's a fucking no. I'm not here to get my ass mauled by a sex pest raider who's got the mating drive of a rabbit. I just want to get my work done in peace. I'd be happy to help get Jordan off your back. Maybe sanitize it a bit. Something like Isa expressed a firm disinterest. Get her and Jackson Wakefield off my back, and I might be able to do something about the supplies. I've got some ideas about how to put her off. Is killing her out of the question? Tell her to fuck off. How about you challenge her to a duel? If you win, she has to leave you alone. If she wasn't one of the deadliest people here, I might consider it. How about I challenge her to a fight? Sounds good, as long as you're not promising me as a prize. That'd be disgusting. You know, you don't mind, and if you know, you don't mind getting your ass handed to you. I can take her. Challenge her to a fight. Mortal Kombat. Doot 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 doot. So try hard is like you are really, like it's in the word. You are trying too hard. And you are uncool because you are trying too hard. What if I offer you a deal? Fight me right now in the training ring. If I win, you stop. I spoke with Isa like you asked. She said you're a creep and the answer is fuck no. Let's try the fight thing. And if I win, you get the fuck out of my way. She assesses you with a quick and practiced eye. Sounds good, let's get to it. Am I allowed to use my magic? No, I don't want to run away. I'm not allowed to use my magic. This is horrible. I'm not designed for this. I mean, at least I get a lot of attacks. There is one upside, that I have a lot of action points. Right, she only gets one attack to my, like, 4. Okay. I just have enough raw action points that I win. What do you want? Bet if you spent some time training these other soldiers, you might be able to beat me. Plus, it'd use up the energy you spent thinking about Isa. I don't need your pity, she looks away angrily. But that's not a bad idea, these sacks of shit do need some reminders of who we are. The end. Everyone joins me again. Somehow I'm magically healed, which is a bit weird. Maybe because it was a duel and not real combat. Report back to this girl, and I don't know why it's hassling me with this. Maybe because my friends returned? How can I be of service? I fought her and won. She'll leave you alone. You serious? That's bloody amazing. I thought I'd have to get demoted to bronze to get away from her. Thanks, mate, truly. Side quest, now completed quest. Optional. Distract the High Priest at the temple. Optional. Betray the rebellion. Plant a bomb in the barracks. And yet there's no optional distract this guy? Ah, it looks like my fight may have distracted him. Yes, he's gone to watch the fighting. Very well. Place bomb. It will probably kill Wheeler. Oh, come on. Boo. We're a little too humanist at the moment, and this is slightly evil. So I'm going to bet on that this helps drag my alignment back into perfectly utilitarian. Leave it where it is. Okay. Talk to Ruby Squire at the Ingot Pub when the bombs have been planted. Now, we might also get in trouble for this, because we were told to just put them places where it would not hurt anyone, and it is going to hurt him, even if it is going to be otherwise a good bomb. They're planted. Fuck yeah, right. You notice a device in her hands. She gestures expansively and presses the button. That's it then. Let's see how well we've stirred up the hornet's nest. You've proven yourself useful, so just let Harvey know when you want more work. He'll send you straight to me. Ask Anselm Scanlon inside the hotel for your next assignment. Now, is he angry that the rebels have succeeded at causing a bombing whilst we were supposed to be infiltrating them? I've received reports that several citizens were killed or injured in the blasts of the bombs you set. While you could have done more harm, you definitely could have done less. What's done is done. Time for the next task. You know the rebels are planning more mischief. So we're increasing patrols around the city, and need every able-bodied silver for the job. You can supplement the jailers in the basement of City Hall. We'll leave a small crew as backup, but those guards know the city better than you, and the jail's remarkably secure. Get there now. Level up, level up. And keep working on our leadership. Now our friends have one more initiative, and whenever we make a critical hit, allies near us gain Brave, giving them even more initiative and a huge accuracy boost. But this doesn't look like it's a main quest anymore. I'm still grumpy about that not letting us use the math girl to solve this problem. Oh no, here we go. Scanlon wants me to guard the clink under the City Hall. So, set up outposts. We said no to one because the game made it sound like they wouldn't want to trade with the clown people. And so I said, like, let me think about this. Like, I picked the no option, hoping that it would be no, let me maybe say let me say yes later. And it just completely erased that option, as far as I can tell. I guess we could try Southern Cross. Meriden says no because we didn't replace the boss lady with our own person or the other guy, and we didn't support her enough to make her happy with us, even though we did like 4 quests for her. Ungrateful cow of a woman. Ardith and Alderstar. This place doesn't even exist anymore, right? The only trade outpost we managed to set up was with the magical hippies, but then the magical hippies stopped existing because we overthrew their ruler and everyone else, and then we convinced the remaining people that they should get absorbed into Kalgoorlie here. So really it feels like we've set up 0, even though it says we've set up 1. For the camels, we've tried talking to everyone everywhere where there are camels that we could find, and yet nothing has triggered the camel thing. I'm almost frustrated enough to the point of wanting to just look that up. Anyway, go to the Kalgoorlie jail under City Hall. I should stop just cooing everywhere I go. There's only been one coup. The other place, we supported the ruling lady instead of cooing her, and it ended up being the wrong answer. There's a vendor in Meriden who sells camels. I feel like we talked to all the people in Meriden, and none of them would, like, talk to us about camels. We can double check next time we're there. This is not where I thought we were going. This is City Hall, though. Right? The USB cable! The one that, Uncle wanted. Every archivist deserves at least one fan. Yes, USB cable is white plastic rope. They don't know what it is, or does Solar? Oh my god, Amiga graphics card. Old technology that has stood the test of time. 8-bit graphics, ho. CD-ROM drive, scratchies, and cache. What else is down here? Anything interesting? Take it all. Take it all. More radio parts if we hadn't already bought enough to complete the radio quest in the nice science town instead of this evil science town. And no, it doesn't look like there's anything else here. Yeah, I mean, if anything is in a free item thing, we just take it, Solar. It would be interesting if there was a game, sort of, you know, this, Skyrim, Fallout, etc., where if you just take everything that's everywhere, like, you got a reputation for stealing stuff and people didn't want you around. Maybe down here is the jail? Yeah, karma is a little bit, but I want one where, like, you explicitly just get a reputation. Wherever this guy goes, everything disappears. You're playing Fallout 3. You're getting your MSEPIN points for DLCs you didn't play back in the day, and you've stolen a lot. Okay. Go to the jail. Well, this feels like jail. Talk to this person. Talk to Logan if you want something. Here's the guard, Logan. Come to visit the prisoners. I've been assigned to watch them. You're relieved. Relieved? Hardly. You're backup. Because they put most of my casual crew on patrol. I'm not up for a conversation. You want to chat? Go have a chinwag with the inmates. Anything I need to know? Keep an eye on them. Make sure they don't do anything suspicious. We don't have no keys, so it's not like you can let them out. Armory's over there. It's not like we'll need it. Who do you have in here? Don't know, don't care. Job's to watch them, feed them, sign them out to the appropriate agent when the time comes. No one cares. They're just like, hey, where did all my stuff go? There's only one other person in the room. It's not suspicious at all. What's with that shimmer around the cells? Opal screen. Keeps magic dulled and prevents them from trying everything. How secure are they? We're buried under City Hall, surrounded by rock, protected against magic. I'd say it's about the safest place around. Goodbye. Talk? Guard and talk to the prisoners. Okay, we'll talk to everyone. It's a short, careworn woman in dusty traveller's clothes. Pleased to meet you, although I wish it were under better circumstances. My name is Lisa Stoddard, member of the Surveyors Guild, and I thought member of the Gold family. But now, apparently I'm a criminal. I suppose everyone here says they're innocent, though. How did you wind up here? I don't even know what I did wrong. I simply returned, gave Kev my report, and shortly afterwards was arrested. You said you were doing your duty? What's your duty? Mentioned that I'm a surveyor. We're trying to gain a complete understanding of the surroundings of our city, out to around 500 kilometers. I was assigned part of the Eastern Territory. Working off old maps, it looked like I'd be heading to Forest and Kaibo Station, out in the Nullarbor Plain. I packed my gear and headed out. I didn't make it all the way there. Around 300 kilometers out, I started finding battlegrounds. Is there anything special there? I don't think so, but one thing I know, Kalgoorlie doesn't leave its soldiers behind, alive or dead, if at all possible. Her enemies, however, aren't so fastidious, and mate, I found a lot of them. A lot. No uniforms, of course, because they're savages. Do they even bleed? But they had a look to them. Bones, leather, feather piercings. Some of them had filed their teeth to points. They wanted to terrorize their foes, and they weren't shy about dying. Right, so you found a battlefield and raiders. What next? The enemy were frightening enough when dead. These are real places? Yes. The Nullarbor Plain is the great big flat desert in the middle of Australia, Sunaj. Home of the largest straight piece of train line in the world. Train facts with Blobber. The enemy were frightened enough when dead, but when they come to your camp at night, emerging from bush shadows and firelight flickering on their faces, they look like demons. And I do mean they came from the shadows. They learnt to use magic like I've never seen before. It's easy to go straight without obstacles? Yup. You get a real RPG, I get the Long Dark. As in, there's a Canadian Fallout? Everyone would be too nice. Hey, I'm here to raid you, eh? You mind giving me your stuff? Ah. The monsters slithered towards me, murder or worse on their minds, and I knew I was dead. Do you have any idea what it's like to be used as bait? What do you mean, used as bait? A squad of Kalgoorlie's finest had been looking for this gang. Apparently, they saw me as I was scouting around and decided that they'd hang back and let these fuckers come to me. Figured the Easterners must be hungry. Yes. Wasn't my memory is that the Americans had a pipeline between Alaska and the mainland, and then in the Fallout universe, you Canadians did some protesting about the war and threatened to cut off that oil pipeline, and then America annexed a corridor along the pipeline to ensure the continued supply of that oil, and then said, hell, why not just annex the rest of Canada as well? A squad of Kalgoorlie's finest had been looking for this gang. Apparently, we already done that. Figured out the Easterners must be hungry. I had no idea, of course. I was mortally terrified. She flushes with remembered shame. I wet my pants, okay? And it wasn't made any better when the raiders heads started popping. 5 minutes that felt like a lifetime, and then the soldiers showed themselves. Makes sense to me if I were running this place. I wouldn't want the populace scared by rumors of war. Not that it justifies what they did, but those soldiers must have been desperate. Try to put yourself in their shoes. What's happened to you is entirely unjust. The truth should never be suppressed. What happened after the soldiers appeared? So the Kalgoorlie soldiers rescued you? What? Only if you mean they stalked me out like sheep for sacrifice. Rescued? Please. They were all sympathies, of course, said they needed to turn the tables on the gang, but they didn't apologize for letting me blunder into the situation in the first place, even though they saw me coming a ways off. They managed to spare a few soldiers to send me back under escort. I wrote up my report and delivered it to Kev. An hour ago, the police showed up at my door, and now here I am. Makes sense to me. If I was running this place, I wouldn't want the populace scared by rumors of war. Perhaps you should have a word with Kev. The two of you seem to have so much in common. You saw some soldiers and some raiders, and then you're under arrest. That doesn't make sense? What can you tell me about the other people here? Not much. I've only tried to talk to Maeve, but she's very quiet, not willing to engage much at all. You understand why I don't want to talk to the Wakefield there? Though he may have overheard my story. I don't have much to say to the merchant. He lives in the city. I live in the bush, and never the twain shall meet. And the less said about that pompous mason git, the better. You can find out yourself if you want to have a chat with him. That's what I thought too, but maybe what I saw wasn't the triumph of our soldiers, but their weakness. They had to use me. They couldn't risk any of their own. Makes me think that the battlefields I found were the exception, that most of the fighting and dying was coming in guerrilla raids. What if we are losing? What if the Eastern Brigands are tougher than we thought? They can use magic, I know that now, and maybe that's why I'm here, to keep the news from getting out. It's a fucked situation. That's it, that's the story. If you want to spread it around, be my guest, because this isn't the city I thought it was. I can't defend treating citizens like this. Sydney is number one. Sydney is the... well, it's not the worst city, but it's not a great city. As someone that has lived and worked there. The man wears a uniform of a Silver Guardian. He has an athletic build, weary eyes, and dry red skin. The dim light makes him look smaller. Word of advice, even a loyal soldier gets tossed in here. No one's safe, watch your back. Shouldn't you be guarding the city instead of locked in a cell? I should be. Turns out, having an attack of conscience is a liability in this line of work. What prompted your attack of conscience? Look, I'm not proud of it, but I was following orders, yes? Our job was to get behind the Plommies, the diplomats, when it was time for the old two-way rifle range. That's combat. I figured we were rooting out the bad guys, enemies, stuff like that. And the first of these places had big walls, right? Looked like a warlord fortress. We breached the walls, spent a shit ton of rounds, and made our way in. But it wasn't cannibals or deviants we were fighting, it was families. Murdering a town of innocents doesn't sound like an attack of conscience. Yeah, I'm getting to that. You asked for the story and you're getting the story, he swallows. We went to another town and another. We didn't kill everyone. We let some surrender, and we brought the kids back here. But it wasn't what I was told we'd be doing. It wasn't liberation, it was slaughter. The hell of it is, everyone else felt the same way. It was that steaming load of bullshit being shoveled into our mouths. But no one fucking said anything. They said the Golds must have a reason and our job isn't to figure it out. But what's the reason behind murdering regular people? They don't hurt no one. They were just living their lives out as best they could till we showed up and burned it all down. So your attack of conscience was realizing you were committing atrocities? What did you do after you realized you didn't want to kill people? I went to the Plommy, the one of the J-name Wakefields. Don't remember which one. He was a bloody shit. Let's call him J-Rat. Told him about my concerns and that I wasn't keen on murdering any more innocents. You know what he said? Mate, out here there are no innocents. Everyone's an enemy till they're proved otherwise. I asked him if that was true of the kids too, and he fucking decked me. Woke up in chains on the way back to the city. When I got here, J-Rat had a quick word with the commander about disobeying a lawful and direct order and undermining morale, and bam, now I'm here. You did what you were trained to, and then you did what you thought was right. At least you got there eventually. I'm glad you hate yourself. You or people like you have brought misery to the world that's already hard enough. You destroyed my friends' homes and murdered their loved ones. Let's just pile on the guilt. He hangs his head. I've got no excuse. I just hope that one day I might find a way to make some small measure of atonement. Ah, but Sunage's Sydney must be the better Sydney. Because it couldn't be worse. What are you going to do if I get you out? Join up with the rebels? He winces. Love my city, I do. Bloody hell, I've spent enough of my soul fighting for it. But something has to change. Something has to give. Or we'll have more undeserving dead, and the blood will be on my hands. Did you ever hear of a James Wakefield? No, but the J-Crash... I'm seeing an alternate universe. Why am I here? I'm told the head priest... Yes, Sunaj. I wanted to know why he didn't think we had a bomb. Or if he was like, yes, please bomb me. For some reason. He wasn't like, yes, please bomb me. No, but the J-Crash are a fucking mouthful of cold piss. Cold-eyed bastards who were entirely up themselves at all times. Or maybe it was just the fuckers that I've met. Can you tell me anything about anyone else locked up here? Oh, loads. Got nothing to do here but talk. So that's Tim Mason. He's a funny dickhead. Emphasis on the dickhead, mainly because he thinks he's so much smarter than he is. Doddard there, she's a surveyor. Got some interesting stories you might want to hear. Slater's a merchant of some kind. Then that Maeve there, I've hardly got a word out of her. But I understand she's heard about something big coming. Won't say more, at least not to me. Well, at least he feels bad about slaughtering our town. There is a surly man in drab bronze colours. A bloke with the face of a self-proclaimed underdog. He clenches and unclenches his hand the entire time you talk, as if he wants to destroy something. You're a silver because the powers that be needed you there? You didn't do shit to deserve it. Want to know why I'm here? Without waiting for an answer, without even pausing for breath, truly. He starts a rant that sounds practice. Me? I'm here because the people who run Kalgoorlie are corrupted by power. I exposed the lie in their system, and this is the only way they know how to shut me up. What did you expose? In the simplest possible way, I took their tests, and they assigned me to the lot of the bronze. A bronze! Me! I don't understand how you failing is a proof of their corruption. I should have been Tim Gold. I'm smart. I'm ambitious. I've got vision. Instead, I'm Tim Mason. Fucking bricklayer. The tests were clearly rigged against me. No way I should have been overlooked. I'm a friggin' genius. Everyone says so. Who's everyone? I said everyone, and I mean everyone. My boss, the fellas down at the pub, sales folk. You figure it out. Genius, they say. Oh no. I give them my idea to save labour. They say, yeah, that's really genius. They can recognise it. So why can't our so-called betters? Seems to me like you want to live the life of a gold without putting in the work. It sounds lazy. Doesn't sound like you think much of the golds. Why do you want to be one? They've got it figured out, don't they? Life of luxury, no hard labour, everyone does what they say. I've got good ideas too, but they won't hear them. Arrogant shitbags. How long have you been down here? A few weeks. Doubt they'll ever let me out. They're afraid of the truth. What about the others? Have you heard what they do? That Bazza fella. He's a hard one. Wouldn't want to be on his side. The Stoddard Sheila. She's some explorer type. Slater here, a merchant, and that Gold, dunno. She won't lower herself to talk to me. Okay. You are just stupid and don't realize it. I mean, you're not... I don't think you're a danger to society and should be locked up, but... Yeah, they're all very livable but very expensive. Yeah. Especially the last 2 years, costs of living have been through the roof. This slight man bears fading bruises on his face, and he holds himself like breathing hurts. Hi, I'm Jimmy Slater. I'd offer to shake your hand, but I'm a bit achy right now. I guess you're not allowed to shake hands with prisoners anyway. What can I do for you? How did you wind up here? Funny story, I returned to my apartment after work and started making myself some dinner when there was a knock at the door. A pair of Silvers, they asked me about my old apprentice. I told them that I'd seen her early in the day because she had concerns about some potentially shady activity in the market. One sec. Cough, cough, cough. I figured they might be interested and said I'd be happy to give a statement. They said there'd be no need for that, but that I needed to come with them. I said I'd be happy to, but had to turn off my stove. I turned away, and that's when they stepped inside and started beating the shit out of me. Then they bagged me up and dropped me here. What did Billy know? She said she'd been approached by a gold bloke who claimed to be a clerk. He needed the day's tax payout, and it was 5% more than usual. She asked him for a copy of the rate sheet and a receipt, so that she could log it in her books, and he got skittish. That's when she came to me, in case anything happened to her. What would you do if something had happened to her? He barks out a short, humorless laugh. They'd have said I'd go to the authorities. Maybe now, I'd go to the head of the guild. But if someone's suborned the Guardians, I don't know who we can trust. Maybe you could go to City Hall and report this. You can trust the authorities to root it out. Maybe you could write down your account and share it with a few friends before you talk to the authorities. It'd give you some leverage just in case. This seems most sensible. Oh yes, have blind faith in the powers that be. Try and appeal to the system, but have a backup plan. This sounds the most reasonable. It sounds like this is part of a deeper rot. It might be time to join the rebels. I hadn't thought about it that way. If I can't trust our leaders, how can I trust them to deal fairly with us? He drops his eyes and whispers, but I'm scared. I'm not a fighter. I don't want to live in a place that preaches lofty ideals from one side of its mouth while spitting them out of the other. But I don't know what I can do. Sorry, mate, but I need a chance to think about this. Can you tell me anything about any of the others? There's a Wakefield in here, seems friendly enough. But after my time with the Silvers, I'm not keen on chatting with them. That's Stoddard, the surveyor. Apparently I don't rate enough respect to get a real convo from her. Really? Maeve over there, we've exchanged a few words, but she mostly watches and listens. Hi Maeve, I know you can hear me. And Mason? He's taking a page from Stoddard's book, except that he's got no brains to back it up. Genius, mate. I can hear you too, Slater, you jumped up piece of shit. Get stuffed, go away. Mason, you're a fucking idiot, and everyone but you knows it. Poor guy. Right, where were we? Goodbye, and let's guess, you won't talk to me? Maeve Bell. This woman is short, stocky, and while she's obviously been sleeping in her gold status clothes, she carries herself with dignity. I'm a political prisoner. You could always become a political poisoner, a critic and a comedian. Complicity won't save you, you know. It just means they'll save you for last. Oof. You talked to the others. You know we're being held here under spurious pretenses. Maybe you're sympathetic, maybe you're not. I'm hoping my words will find a receptive audience. Would I agree? Oh yeah. That said, it's not really a fair basis because I haven't actually visited America, Jingo. So I am not making a fully informed decision there. Boop. You look like you're not from around here. That means you're doing muscle work for a city that hardly recognizes you as a human. And it means that there's been something going on in the city that's pulling away our usual jailers. She smiles somewhat. I'll wager you've been promised a better future, safety, security, and all that jazz. Oh, out of the Aussie ones. Yes. I mean, I'd probably have a hard time with, did you list Brisbane? Actually, you didn't list Brizzy, so I don't have to say the heat would murder me. Well, the humidity. Melbourne's okay aside from the traffic's terrible and, they have an obsession with one-way roads for some reason. Like, all their well, not all. A significant portion of their suburban roads are solid white line for no widely explainable reason. Perth was lovely, it's just like Adelaide, except that they have good buses. And I love Adelaide. What if I told you the whole premise was a lie? What would you do when you discovered you wouldn't find safety here, nor freedom in thought or deed, just a collection of parts for a machine being run by a cabal of lunatics and freaks to an end more sinister than you can imagine? I'd like to help you, but I don't have the keys and I have no way to open the cell. You're inside the cell and I'm not. The masters seem to be holding the whip. I'll stick with them. Brisbane has nice buses and trains? Yeah, it did have. It was just the weather. Like, the train from the airport was really lovely. And the buses around there yeah. But God, I was like, I can walk the 3 blocks from the train station to my hotel before I go to this conference thing. Drenched in sweat. Oh, it was disgusting. I can walk 3 blocks with my suitcase. What are you in here for? Sedition, or rather, suspicion of sedition. I worked at the Ivanhoe headframe, where they've got the radio broadcasting apparatus for the city. Because of my rank and position, I heard reports from the Eastern Front. The war isn't going well. The enemy is pressing hard. The only thing keeping them from our door is that they're not united. You hear that I love our old buses here with no window? Yeah, I do not love our old buses. I got... When they were doing my train line, because I lived right next to the train line, for like 2 years when they were building an underpass thing, well, a year and a half, year-ish, they replaced the train line with temporary buses until they finished building the underpass. In order to do that, because they didn't have enough normal buses, they had to drag up the old clunkers, sort of a la, you know, here are the 30-year-old retired buses that we've retired and stuck in the desert sort of thing, awaiting recycling, or need of use them. And these were all ancient ones that didn't have air conditioning, so it was living hell catching these buses. The buses were far slower. They had no air conditioning. It was bumpy and unpleasant. Oh, it was just so terrible. About the only nice thing I have to say is one day there were two young girls that were having a screaming match on this bus, and after about 5 minutes of it, I couldn't put up with it, and they made some snide comment to each other, and I got up and absolutely yelled full blast at them, and then they shut up the whole rest of the trip. Like, I think they were genuinely a little bit scared that I might do something to them, but they were totally obnoxious. The whole bus was just like, please shut up, you stupid, like, oh. Anyway. Yeah, grumpy old man yells at children. The war isn't going well, the enemy is pressing hard. The only thing keeping them out from the door is that they're not unified. And in the meantime, Kev has sent the Wakefields out to gather or annihilate settlements from hundreds of kilometers out. I started putting the pieces together. There's something big coming. I made the mistake of talking to someone I thought was a mate about my suspicions. Turns out they were an informant. An informate, if you will. Always yell at the children. Tell them to get off my lawn. If informate is the kind of joke you regularly make, it's no wonder you're in prison. Fuck off, it's comedy gold, she replies without rancor. Anyway, the accusation of sedition, not the joke, was enough to get me tossed in here. A lot in your area need a good smack? Yup. Like, why were they yelling at full blast at each other on a bus in the middle of the day? And after like 5 minutes of it, why were they so shocked that someone told them to shut up? I'm just trying to read the bus, like, to ride the bus and read in peace, and these... Ugh, anyway. Grumpy old man. I'd love to help you out, but I don't have the keys and no way of letting you out. You know, it's funny you should mention that. You tell me you need keys to open the doors. Maybe you're convinced you need keys. I could argue about it for a while to pass the time. Why would you think that I hate your leaders? They seem like a nice enough city. I can't say I particularly care for the way your city is run. It seems nice enough on the surface, but that's about as far down as you want to scratch, though. Did you get involved in any actual seditious activities? Her eyes crinkle behind the mask. Do you think I'd admit to any of that, especially when I know how the Spy Master works? I'm as pure as lamb's wool. I guess you're in here until they put you on trial, then. Trial? Sure, more likely they should drag me behind the sheds and put a bullet in my skull to keep me from spreading these heretical notions. Continue. She holds up a finger for silence, then points a thumb at the wall behind her. She starts chuckling. Or we wait a few seconds and see what happens next. Ooh! There's a low rumble like an earthquake, and you're blinded by a bright flash. Rocks fall around you. Looks like my friends are here. We'll just take care of these guards on our way out. Time to make a choice. Are you with us or with Kev? I hate Kev. Kev sucks. The only good thing that Kev has done is melt to death the person that burnt down our city. But even if he did that, he's nominally that guy's boss, and he took no responsibility. So, good choice. Let's make our escape. Does she have no... Oh, she's wearing a mask. Now, me, there's 2 here, and there's 2 here. I think we just go... Really? That's too far away? No, there we go. I can get 2 of them. 1, 2, 3, done. You smack this person. Success. Head over this way. You can't quite get where we need you to. So close. Here. Half cover? I can accept. No, the table is too much cover. That seems like a joke, but okay. And spell, dead. This shot is not a table. There'll be reinforcements coming. Let's get the survivors moving. She casts a glance your way. She's talking to the rescuers and holding up a finger. She'll get to you in a moment. Right. You got the opal dust? Grand. Get it on the walls every couple of meters and leave a line on the floor for 10 meters back. Plant those charges in the roof. If they want to follow us, they'll need heavy machinery. Well, are you coming, or do you plan to wait here till Scanlan's thugs find you amidst the corpses? Let's go then. Good call. It's time to show Kev, Big Kev perhaps even, he's excited. The truth, that the people here aren't the sheep he believes them to be. He is the big boss, so he could be Big Kev. She straightens and sticks out her hand. Suppose I should introduce myself properly. You're likely wondering why these blokes went to all the fuss of blowing open a jail for a few stray prisoners. Here's the thing, though. I'm the one who brought this rebellion to life, so congratulations, you've helped save the rebel boss. No shit. The barest flicker of an eyelid indicates that she registers the interruption, but her attention remains focused on you. And for the sin of being useful and resourceful, I'm going to give you the delicate and crucial assignment. The reward for doing good work is more work. Our work is not done yet, and we don't have much time to finish it. Kev is planning something catastrophic, something that'll make raising a few settlements seem like piddling crimes. Enjoy your walk, Nahodoi. Problem is, I don't know precisely what his plan is. I know it's based on something Gwen Gold dreamt up back when she was rebuilding the city in our society, and guess what? The city keeps a record of her life down in the archives below the city. I want you to go and get it and bring me a copy. We're going to broadcast this madness for all to hear. Do you know what Big Kev is planning that is so terrible? Have you met him? The man doesn't do anything by half measures, and if someone's threatening his power, he will act quickly and decisively with overwhelming force. He's not a man who fucks around. With the scale of the threat the Eastern Warlords pose, I'm convinced he's brewing an apocalypse. What do you hope will happen after we broadcast the information? Honestly, it's a bit of a toss-up. I understand we don't yet have a foothold with the citizenry. Worst comes to worst, I'd rather burn down the city than watch it destroy itself from within. But we'll figure that out when we get to it. What about the people who live here? What happens to them? Or build from the ashes rather than a rotten foundation? We've got the knowledge and experience to rebuild. It might be hard for a time, but better that than labouring on under the lash. And yes, I realise the hypocrisy of making this decision for everyone in the city, but at least everyone will be able to start fresh, not forced forever into their assigned roles. But that's all late-night bullshit dreams till we've got something tangible, and our time is running out. So as much as I'd like to kick theory around with you, we need you to go get Gwen's journal. How do you ensure you'll find a better leader than the current crop? Dunno. I don't know how they did in the old days, elections, interviews, committees, whatever we choose, we won't be held hostage by a single madman. That's still to be determined, you know. But mate, when you're staring down the barrel of a gun, you want to keep the maniac from pulling the trigger, not figure out who's going to paint the door he's kicked in. Anything else I should know? We don't have time to fuck around, go get it done. Baz? Okay. Town hall, downstairs. Find document about Founding Lady. Possibly do something with the radio broadcast tower. And get rid of the evil, high-tech, major-cratic city. If you choose to continue, you won't be able to go back and finish any side quests. So this feels like end of story. We've never had that warning before. Nope. What about that one? Nope. What about back here? Oh. These are all hostile now? Fair enough. How far can you run up, friend? It looks like you can run far enough up that he'd be able to triple cast our water spell. Well, not quite. That's disappointing. Well, you can cast it once. Twice. 3 times. Turn your remaining points into moving. Continue to move up. You smack this person once. And then continue sprinting towards the enemy. Next. You also do the sprint thing. Oh wow, she actually made it all the way to the bookcase. Good for you. And you, same deal. That'll do. You move up as much as you can and heal me. Then continue sprinting. Okay, move up. This time you are definitely going to be in range of a magic spell. And the enemies were convenient enough to put themselves inside a single AoE. Smack this person. And again. Move up to cover. And turn. You can't quite get there. What if we move you to here and then have you shoot? Victory. Loot, 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 loot. Make that our talked about quest. Active quest, sorry. This is the Census Archive. Seems reasonable that they'd keep information about past people here. No luck though, maybe it's in one of the other stacks. Best to keep looking. Census data's much more romantic by lamplight. The Personnel Archives seem like a great place to find information on the founder of Kalgoorlie, worth a shot anyway. It seems like that should be true, but sadly it's not. Best look in one of the other stacks. Now, I thought we were told by the guy that ran the priest that he had written something and that it was in the basement of the other place. I don't think any of these are it. Nor will it be the fan. Well then, I feel like we've clicked on everything. We've clicked on that one. We've clicked on this one. We've clicked on that person. We clicked on this one. This one looks like it's got a misplaced thing because it doesn't have a interaction point there, only the circle. We've done that one. We did this one. This goes off into the darkness. There's nothing here. Try bottom left. We've looked at this thing. This didn't have anything. We already raided this the very first time we were down here. The only thing that was in this loop of stuff was the USB drive for... well, the USB drive. The USB cable for Uncle, whoever his name was, from the, from Corda. Bottom left of the faulty bookshelf. Oh, we already did this. This had, like... a record, like two I think it had 2 philosophy book things, or like paper and something. So it looks like I might be in a similar situation to what I've had before with the helmet quest, where maybe an item isn't spawning. No, we'll go top to bottom through the whole room again. Every single interaction point. This one. No, guard nothing. This one. It's a bit awkward that it's not there, but I think it's meant to be that. And this is something that I raised in the beta, that these circles, the circle itself should be the... No matter how you zoom in or out, the whole circle should be an interaction point. There can be situations like this where it extends beyond the circle, but there are also situations where you can have your cursor inside the circle and it not count as the interaction point, and that gets troublesome. We've done that one, and now this one. This one has nothing. This one doesn't have anything. We've done this one. This has nothing. We've done this one. This says we've already looked at it. We've done this one. This says we've already looked at it. We've done this guy. This guy's dead. We've already looted him. We've done this one. It has nothing. We've done this one. Well, actually, maybe we haven't. Because we can't click on anything. Or at least there's nothing to click on there now. Barring some exceptional thing. And then we've done these things. Well, that's disappointing if the final quest is fucked up. That's really disappointing. I wanted to see what the ending was. Pushing this bookcase over would lead to the world's worst case of dominoes. Maybe you should, then it doesn't come out as backseating. It certainly helps. Yeah, lovely game. You should mostly be proud. There are a couple little issues, but you should be proud. I would be proud if I had made this game. What if we save and load? Will that maybe despawn the bodies, and then we have an easier time of clicking the things we're supposed to click? And don't stress, gaming Geekon. You got stuck on this same issue? You thought it had been fixed? So which one of these do you think I'm supposed to be clicking? This one, that is now essentially covered by two bodies? This one. But it's nothing. Then there's this one that has no clickable. The question mark one. So this one. But waiting again would be a waste of time. The broken one. Well, this one doesn't have a question mark, if you're trying to call it the question mark one. Ah! There's a question mark way down here instead of here. Okay, so the circle doesn't match the location it's supposed to be. We've had a couple of instances of that, especially talking to this lady. These are the historical archives, stretching back to before the Great Fuck-Up. Seems logical they'd keep information in the Gwengold here, right? Your instincts were right at last. There's a thick folder labelled Gwengold crammed into the shelf. You pick it up and leaf through it quickly. Brief history, overview of her accomplishments, and towards the back, plans. It's a thick file of papers about Gwengold's life. It opens to a couple of dog-eared pages in the back, and it takes a few moments to absorb the horrifying information in it. Gold's dream was to create a fortress of her city. Picture a circle drawn a few hundred kilometers around Kalgoorlie. Everything inside it is part of the chosen land. Then, drawing on the abundant, strange energy of the pit, she wanted to blast a 100-kilometer ring beyond that, a lifeless dead zone like a massive moat. Everyone in the ring would be destroyed. Trees, plants, rivers, all wiped clean. It would keep invaders out and keep everyone else in. This could make Kalgoorlie a utopia, or could turn it into a giant open-air prison. Unfortunately, there's no way to tell how it would pan out, not until you are living it. The punt to end all punts. Added. Gwengold's file. Time to get this topside. These shouldn't disappear so quickly. I wouldn't even mind if those had to be dismissed manually. Time to get this topside. Maeve will be waiting. Continue. Okay, so I was actually... If the solution wasn't this misplaced bounding box, I thought what it was meant to be hinting at is that we need to go back up and outside and go to visit the place with the bibliography that the priest that was running the other library was in, and we'd have to break into that library and get his version of the bibliography with the true information about what she planned to do. You found Gold's file. Wonderful. Let me see it. She takes it from your hands and rifles through it. She pauses on a sheet towards the end. Her eyes widen. Bloody hell, she whispers. This is worse than I'd imagined. I'll add it to the list. The door is missing until you find the files, unfortunately, but my idea is logical. Seems to make sense. Especially because he specifically said, that guy, that they went into the normal archives, like they went into things and got rid of anything that might drag her name into ill repute, etc. This is worse than I'd imagined. This is the working of unimaginable power and utterly destructive. Kev is desperate to hold his position, and he doesn't care how many he hurts if he gets to do that. All these towns he's slaughtered, all the deaths, it's a prelude to this. He's drawn a radius of a few hundred kilometers around the city. That's all fine. But another 100 outside that, he's going to scourge utterly with magic. He means to kill anyone who lives in the blast path, and to make it impossible for anyone to get in or out. It'll be an enormous prison for every troll, every soul trapped here, not every troll sapped here. Someone's got to stop him. What if I say no? I don't see why this is my problem. No. How can we stop him? This dossier contains the history of Gwengold. It holds her plans for Kalgoorlie's future. This is what Kev is building towards. Take it to the Ivanhoe headframe. Yes, so we're going to go transmit it, like I predicted. Get it to the broadcast room and tell the citizens of Kalgoorlie what's being done in their name. If we've got any luck, they'll rise up and do the rest. Take the papers, take the papers. Let's see what Kev will give me for these. No, we're not that evil. Thanks, mate. This will be the most important part of the revolution. Get this done and we've got a chance to shape the future for the better. Get going. We should take the plans to Scanlon. Get Kev to let his guard down before we take him out. Really? Then let's get a wriggle on.
I still think evacuating everyone's a better move. We can take on Kev after we get everyone to safety.
We have to warn everyone. We have to. I won't be able to live with myself if we don't. Narrator. No one looks at each other as they contemplate what's to come. As the person they've found themselves following, they look to you. but in looking to us, they literally look away from us. Okay, broadcast Kev's plans from the Ivanhoe headframe. Bring Gwen Gold's file to Anselm at the Metro. I don't like the idea of bringing it to someone who's nominally part of their secret police, right? If this is the only copy we have, I say no. I say we straight away broadcast it. No saying that we'd get it back. No saying that we would succeed at assassinating evil Big Kev. We're gonna have to kill this guard.
The bulk of the Ivanhoe headframe looms over you, draped with cables and bristling with parabolic radio dishes. The better to broadcast Kev's propaganda to the people of West Oz, or to get messages from the soldiers or commandos on his bloody raids. This is the beating heart of his comms.
Probably Salar, but you know, we're being told we have to do this now. So, like, the narrative imperative is to take action immediately, not to sit around making a copy before we proceed with our plan.
It's a quiet night. Even with the rebels' efforts, it feels like people are ready to get the excitement over with so they can head back to work in the morning. The guards at the base of the headframe seem bored.
Are we going to try and talk him down? No one's going up or down tonight. I need to get up to make a broadcast. Charm him, intimidate him, convince him. This probably works if you go do the murder Kev bit, but I don't think the convince him will work if we haven't gone and murdered Kev. So our options are charm or intimidate. Charm. Yeah, nah, I'm not risking an execution for a stranger. Let's just get you in front of Kev. Kill him. He stares at... No, this is the same. Sorry, mate. Gotta get done. Omelette, eggs, etc. Again, we will use our massively overpowered spell. Come on, give me my spell. It's a pity I can't get both of them in one circle. 1, 2, 3. Done. You smack person 1. Very good. I kind of think the game's difficulty gets way too easy as soon as you get the spells, but I'd find it more interesting if the spell wasn't so overpowered. There's more people? Where? Oh, hello. I didn't notice you. What an idiot I am. You can't take cover behind the children's sandpit. Shock horror. It looks like we could get up to him and stab him. But he's also a stabby person, so we should probably shoot. Was there a difficulty slider? I don't remember there being one, but there could have been. Because I'd already played the demo, and you'll remember that I had a save that may have indicated other things as well between the demo and now. I remembered enough about the start to kind of just skip through it quickly, and in terms of setting up character, and I don't specifically remember if there was a difficulty slider. If you go here, you can probably magic spell him to death. So close! But not quite close enough. So maybe go back to cover. And they just stand there and wait to die? Sure. Okay. Who are you? What are you doing here? Get out or I'll call the guards. Do you think they'll get up here in time to stop me? Doubtful, don't open your mouth. I'm here to use the tower. Are you going to help me? Kill the other tech. Aww. Are you going to help me? Help you? You out of your mind? Of course not. This is an official facility. Leave at once. Which seems like the most not necessarily have to murder her one. Do you think they'll get up here in time to stop me? Doubtful, don't open your mouth. Or, I'll ask again, are you going to help me? Maybe you'd like to live through the night. Are you going to help me or not? So extremely threatening or moderately threatening? I'll go with extremely threatening. Please don't. No, please you don't scare me. Okay, kill the other tech. Unfortunately.
It's quick work. He's soft.
Horrified, she backs into the corner. When you turn back to her, she whimpers and says, "Please, I'll help you. Please don't hurt me."
She leads you to a microphone, and as you prepare your thoughts, she's setting up the equipment to send out a communique on all bands. It's time to spread the truth. For a few moments, you hear nothing outside. Then a voice raised in anger, and another. A handful more join them. There's a gunshot then, and someone barks harsh orders. Boots march in unison towards the headframe. The revolution has died. Or perhaps it was never going to be born. Whatever the case, there's no help for it now. The dice are cast. When the city guards come up the stairs, you're ready for them. But they overpower you in the end.
Did we get the transmission off? I'm okay with being told we died.
Staring up at the changing
I'm not okay with
light
not
and
being
sound
told
above him.
if we got the
An
transmission off.
otherworldly glow arcing between him and the rift. As each thread of power strikes, he seems to glow brighter than the stone around him, brighter than the sky. You watch as all colour fades from your surroundings until only he and the pulsating mass of writhing power suspended above his head retain any sense of normalcy, truth, or reality.
This is all your fault, you know. If Gwen's plan fails because of you, the blood of everyone in Kalgoorlie will be in your hands.
You ought to look at yourself more closely before pointing fingers. I'm not the one with a genocidal agenda. A society of suck-ups and fuck-ups doesn't deserve a happy ending. There has to be a way to resolve this peacefully. What about the blood of all the people you've already killed? Gwen's plan? Trying to sidestep some guilt there, buddy. This is also true. I never wanted it to come to this, but I can't let you go ahead with your abhorrent plan. Stop or I'll stop you. If they can't survive without exploiting others, the world will be better off without them. Shut up and fight me. So, I'm feeling like the story didn't quite... What I understood the story just told us was, you tried to reveal the truth, and before you managed to, the guards got there and killed you? But that doesn't seem to have been what's actually happened. So there's a little bit of... Maybe I'm misunderstanding what I'm being told, but it feels to me like there's a mismatch between what I'm being told and what's happened. Why am I suddenly here and alive? Anyway, out of these options, I'd like to go with I'm not the one with a genocidal agenda. Really? Do you hear yourself? Exaggeration's the best way to get people to stop listening. Then again, you've been pretty bombastic yourself, if my surveillance team is to be believed.
Not to rain on your parade, but you really haven't done much of note, have you? Bit of a legend in your own lunchbox, to borrow a phrase. You did take my advice and get citizenship. Silver's a lot to take, I know, when you're used to giving your own orders. But isn't it a relief, too, to be released from the shackles of responsibility? To know that whatever happens, it's not on you?
Okay. True utilitarian, slightly more friendly utilitarian, also true utilitarian, or utilitarian. Let's look at the options. A society should capitalize on its strengths of each of its members. Yours put people in boxes and limit their growth. 10,000 years from now, what do you think any of this is going to matter? Absolutely not. I wanted to see what your society has to offer, so I took your tests. On balance, though, it seems like your society classes only exist to divide and conquer the citizens you supposedly serve. There's no greater good being served here. If what you are doing really benefits everyone as much as you say, why are people rebelling against your system of laws? This I like. Am I just supposed to trust your math that what you're doing here will benefit more people in Kalgoorlie than it will kill beyond Meriden? No. Because people never know what they've got till it's gone. Don't it always seem to go? That is humanity's default state. The constant desire for what other people have. Freedom from oppression sounds great until you realize that the definition is of both freedom and oppression change depending on who you talk to. And then it turns out freedom also means the freedom to starve to death. People come back around plenty quickly. You should know. You rely on that cycle too.
I have to wonder, though. I expected to be having this conversation with our dear friend Mick, don't you? He was my original surveillance target. Then Connor had the breakdown of the century, and by the time Mick woke up, everyone was listening to you instead. Honestly, I didn't expect a little thing like having to kill his own son would slow old gut wound down too much, but it seems to have had quite an effect. Unintended, sure, but that's down to randomness and luck. Do you really think anyone would have followed you otherwise?
The Brookton crew followed me because I showed them a vision of the future they would believe. No. We're a democracy. If Mick felt up to travelling, he'd be here too, and we'd make our decisions together. That's actually true. I think that is true. We're all here because we want to be, because we want to stop you. This is true, and it actually doesn't adjust our morality thing. I didn't depose Nick. He stepped aside because he recognized my ability to do what he couldn't. I did what had to be done. Brookton was leaderless and in danger of dissolving. I held everyone together. What's important is that I've kept these people safe through thick and thin. I only deserve their loyalty because I've done so much to earn it. I didn't force Mick into obscurity. He did that to himself. What he does with his life is no impact of mine. Sounds like you bet your entire future on the wrong horse. I would have thought someone running an empire like Kalgoorlie would have understood the inherent chaos of the human heart. Someone had to step in, and people picked me. I didn't ask to lead, but refusing would only have led to more turmoil and despair. Everything I did for the good of everyone under my care. This is a bit too trite, although it's true. I'm not the one who dethroned Mick, but I was there to provide comfort when we fell. I like this one about we didn't choose to lead, we had leadership thrust upon us by circumstance. These two that are basically the same, rather than pretending we took over. Now, what I think's happening here is that the game's trying to, recap, did you complete all of the different factions' main quests? And what it might be doing here is, did you replace the Meredith lady with Mick? Did you rig the election or whatnot there to put him in charge? Which we did not do. We left it with the lady because she seemed competent enough, and honestly, the way the story had been written until then, we were going to her to get help to get our city back. So, assuming control of her city didn't seem to be in fitting with what we were being storylined to do. And then eventually it's just the elections happened and you didn't do anything. I guess you don't care. So, I did it because someone needed to step up, and I didn't actually try to be a leader as much as just help out. And then everyone appreciated your noble sacrifice so much that they just happened to do everything you said. even when the orders started going against their self-interest. It isn't that you took advantage of a group of traumatized individuals, they gave you control. And that makes it all right, doesn't it? Even the bad stuff.
So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna come at me like a bull at a gate? Or will you stand behind me while I create the new world's first superpower?
Over my dead body. Give up, no. Or the fight me but less aggressive, no,
Preference
fight me.
noted. If anyone wants to leave now, I promise no retribution for the part you played in bringing this shit stain to my door.
She walks away, presumably because we didn't succeed enough at saving Cole. Mad, don't do this. I need you. Shit, Elle. She turns and gestures impatiently. When are you going to understand that no one is who they say they are? Whatever you think about old mate here, one day you're going to be disappointed. Come on, Elle. Don't make me dig your grave too. Okay, Mad, you win.
Well, that was embarrassing. Anyone else?
On guard or whatever, I guess.
You've stayed with me. I'm surprised. I didn't finish making their trade network, and I didn't complete finding Uncle's... Well, I mean, we have now found Uncle's USB and the cable, but we didn't go back, because we only just found the cable, and then we found the cable here in this city, and this city is where the end of game quest happened, and I didn't leave the city since finding that cable.
Nice team you've got there. Real reliable.
She looks between you and Kev. You know, I don't want either of you fuckers running the world, but I'm also not stuck up enough to think I could hold my own against both of you. Even one at a time. I'm out. She waves at Deej. I'll tell Binar where to find your body, brother. She'll make sure you're buried on country.
Don't worry, Jess. Me and Nijabal here are gonna wrap it up real quick. This dickhead has no idea who he's up against.
Well, see you then. She walks away, head held high, and disappears into the rippling shadows.
Well, that even the odds. Literally. Oh, this is going to go so badly for you.
Unless you want to reconsider. No.
So much for no more killing.
Are you magic? Can I just instant-kill you with 4 spells? Is the fight not going to trigger? And they stood there forever. Can't even hit escape. Escape does nothing. Mouse still works. Menu works weirdly. You've found priority number 1, letting the game get to the end.
Staring up at the changing mass of
Okay.
light.
This
go
is
through
all
this
your
again.
fault, you know. If Gwen's...
Genocidal agenda.
Although you did take my... Silver's a lot to take, I know.
And then it
when you're used to
was-
giving your own orders. But isn't it a relief, too, to be released?
Why are people rebelling against
I have
you
to
if your
wonder,
system's
though.
so good?
Then Connor... Honestly, I didn't
Then it
expect a little
was-
thing like having to kill his own son would
I
slow
didn't
old
choose
gut
to
wound
lead,
down
I
too
just
much.
sort of
But it
did
seems to
stuff
have-
and people followed me.
So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna come at me
Yes,
like preference
fight
noted?
you.
If anyone wa-
Then Mad leaves.
Well,
Ella
on
leaves as
guard
well.
or whatever, I guess.
Nice
DJ
team.
stays, Jess leaves.
Don't worry, Jess.
Now is it going to stuff up again?
well that even the...
Now, might have been something to do with the girl is still walking off, but fight.
So much for no more killing.
Nah, still nothing. Oh, that's rough. Little embarrassing for you, Gaming Geekon. Let's see if one of the other text options maybe gives us an actual ending.
He's staring up at the changing map.
This is all your fault, you know. If Gwen's
Okay.
plan fails because of you, the blood...
This one,
Although you did... Silver's a lot to take, I know. When you're used
we
to
still
giving
want to
your
be
own orders.
utilitarian, but we're
isn't
going to
it
pick a different
relief
one.
To be released from the shackles of
There's
responsibility.
no greater good being served here. Baby's first authoritarian regime. You got me. We keep law and order by having our citizens police themselves. I don't know why you're surprised. After everything you've seen out there, do you really believe chaos is
I
a
have
better
to wonder,
alternative?
though, you know I expected to be having this conversation with our dear friend Mick, don't you? Then
Yeah.
honestly, I
No,
didn't
and I've
expect
got to
a
pick
little
another one,
thing
so
like
we'll
having
go with the
to
other
kill
one.
his own
I
son
provided
would
support when
slow
things fell. You think that because what you're doing is compassionate that there can't possibly be an ulterior motive, even one you deny to yourself. These people were lost, and you brought them purpose. Of course they would follow you. That doesn't mean that what you did was right. It means that what you did was effective, and those are
So what's it
going
gonna be? Are you gonna come at me like a bull at a gate? Or will you stand
Now,
behind
maybe it
me
was that I'm
while I
picking
create
the
new world's first
super fight option, so
superpower?
we'll go with the medium fight option.
Well, what do you know? Violence? If anyone wants to live...
Yes, she leaves. I didn't do enough to make you happy with me.
Well,
On guard, or whatever, I guess.
Yep,
Nice
you
team.
stay, which was surprising. She leaves.
Don't worry, Jess. Me and Nijibal here gonna wrap it up real quick. This dickhead has no idea who he's up against.
See you then.
will that even the odds?
Okay. Fight. I'm not giving up. I don't care if that's...
So
the
much
option.
for no more killing.
End dialogue. And it still fails. Well, that is mighty sad. We could try exhaustively tree searching all the options, but it feels to me like it's bugged at this stage. So we might return to finishing this game after the next patch. Yeah. We can look at the give up ending. Boo! Boo, I don't want to give up. We will look at the give up ending though. Keeping in mind that this is officially not the canon ending to our run.
He's staring up at the changing
Just to see if the
This
other
is all
ending
your
also
fault, you
screws
know.
up.
If Gwen,
Shut up
if
and
anyone
fight
wants
me.
to leave now,
She still leaves.
well,
On
nice team.
He stays.
don't worry, Jess.
Will that even...
She leaves.
The
If we give
world
up.
will be...
He siphons a vast quantity of energy from the rift.
In the end, it was as simple as doing nothing. Kev went ahead with his plan, and any discomfort you felt could easily have been imagined.
It's not
The
imagined.
heavens didn't quake, the ground didn't tear asunder. He just concentrated for a few moments, then opened his eyes and smiled at you. World changed. Angela ruled with an iron fist.
She seemed competent.
However bad people said she was before, the threat of Kalgoorlie kicked her paranoia into overdrive.
I didn't
leading
realize
to
we were
mass
meant to
arrests
replace her
and
with Mick.
wave after wave of residents sent into
It felt like it
exile.
was her versus the
A
incompetent
shadowy figure ruled
guy.
by Angela's side, striking wherever and whoever with impunity. Whispers as to the identity of this unseen terror circulated widely, but Angela answered every inquiry only with a slight smile. The siders dispersed from the walls soon after events at Kalgoorlie unfolded. They simply drifted away, swallowed up by the vast outback, while the Deados continued to serve, and wait for the long-awaited day when they would at last be free. Mick tried to rally the members of the convoy to retake Brookton once it was clear no help from Meriden would be forthcoming. But something in him had died the day he shot his son, and without conviction, he couldn't convince even himself. He grew quieter and quieter as the days went on, and the people he had sworn to protect slowly drifted away or disappeared. Now he mostly keeps to himself, and the town shuns him as a pariah, not worthy of attention or affection, nameless and unknown, just like the memory
I mean, this
of
bit
Brookton.
CK Hawk is like your typical
The
US.
exclusion zone caused
These are
an
what the people
influx
did
of
after
magical
college,
energies
but
that
based on
surged through
which decisions you've
Kalgoorlie
made
and
with the
caused
factions.
Perfect renaissance. Philosophy and human endeavour flourished, and the plan to bring Kalgoorlie onto the stage as a key player in the New World Order seemed like a foregone conclusion. That is, until the magic energies started failing and, overnight, everything that held the city together
You don't like the
crumbled
tree with
into
5
dust.
faces?
Surrounded by hundreds of kilometres of impassable terrain created by their own hubris, the citizens of Kalgoorlie descended into chaos and barbarism. The last of them finally succumbed to starvation, and now the city lies silent, save for the steady drone of the wind circling the pit as though mourning a lover it dares not approach.
Game over. Credits. Okay. But as we said, no, we're not making that our official ending. We'll have another look at the ending next patch. Fingers crossed. The ending gets fixed and we can try fighting the guy and find out whether he's too hard to beat with just us and Deej. Okay. See you then.